Hello and welcome. You don't need to clap. Well, welcome to the Daniel Stop Clapping podcast.
Clapping, how?
I am your usual host, Joe Scornbrace. I'm joined here by my good friend Tony Tones at RT.
Hello.
And
I'm here.
this week, Daniel's alive.
Again.
Jesus Christ, it's Daniel Brace.
We're just watching Jason Bourne. So,
and it's 12 o'clock.
It is 12 o'clock.
And the memes with Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Bring the memes. Snakes have legs.
So I've been telling everyone on the podcast every time you went away to like Scotland or Barbados or
anywhere else,
wherever you went, that you were dead.
Cover stories have been dead.
You're a secret agent, basically.
Deep cover. It's
DLDR, Daniel's still dead.
Can you let in more deep voice, please?
DLDR, Daniel's dead.
News of my death is greatly exaggerated.
Okay.
I feel like for sure we'll get a deep voice mode when the microphone fucks up.
Every time.
So every bit in the podcast will sound like a movie trailer. Coming soon to a cinema near you.
Only if we don't fix it, make it higher pitch and slightly wider.
Daniel was asking me if we should live stream this on Twitch, and I was like, we fuck up too many times to live stream this on Twitch.
That is true. We do fuck up too many times.
But it would force you to get better faster.
Would it though, or just stay fucked up for longer?
That's a good point.
Who knows?
I'll look into it for next week.
Next week.
I'll look into it. We might be on Twitch.
Do you know what you need to do?
What?
Realise so that Tony won't ever show his face. You'll get buy a copy of Face Rig that all of those YouTubers use. That they're it's a cat talking.
Yeah. So if we
be a cat.
if we live streamed on Twitch, I wouldn't have a problem putting a webcam up and just showing me and Daniel. But I think Tony doesn't want to do that.
Can you replace Tony with this zebra?
Digitally, yes.
I think we should.
Digitally.
You're gonna have to insert a picture.
Yeah, I'll just
But
take a photo of it
what
in
if we
front of
fuck
my
up
computer.
and accidentally show me then?
Well,
I would have to be off screen, but have a really a
we'll just have
a
to
question mark.
We'll have a big emergency red button that's just Tony's in shot.
Yeah,
button.
Right. Can you just write me a
Release
piece of code?
the drone.
Write me a piece of code that just instantly stops.
As soon as you cut, we get a code that detects your face, and at any point it just pulls up a box. My God, it's Jason Bourne.
That's what I want.
I saw a video today of Google's recognition API. It was like a GIF on Reddit, and they just hovered it over, and it just went wine bottle, spatula, and stuff like that, and it could instantly just recognize
they've made it
things.
really easy for developers to implement visual recognition stuff.
Robots
now,
will soon be ruling the world.
Yeah, pretty.
Have you played that game? I think it's Google, where it tells you
Google's
something to
game.
No, but they have a bunch of little games they use to train AI. So you can draw. It tells you to draw something.
You draw it,
and it sees how long it takes it for the computer to guess what you're drawing.
If you want to see the funniest one, I was just watching Criticals on this Penguin Zero
this is
YouTube
Critical.
channel.
Critical is funny.
Yeah.
He's he starts with going, oh yeah, I'm this. It's gonna be really easy. I'm the best painter you've ever seen. This is gonna be really easy. And then it's he's it's not actually good at paint, but it just sets up a really funny video. So I would recommend watching that if you want to see more of that.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'll go to Tony. What have you been playing this week? Because I feel like
as per last week, because it's certainly only been a week since last time we recorded.
Yeah, technically,
spoiler.
Actually.
And it's not Sunday.
No, it is.
But I've been playing Minecraft Tekkit still with new mods.
No, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded.
Has it?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't.
No, it definitely has.
Okay. It's been a week and a half.
Because I've got the date down for 2 weeks after the last podcast. So it has been 2 weeks.
2 whole weeks.
Yeah. But they've got the spotlight in between.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've still been on Tekkit, so...
Tekkit Legends.
Yeah.
They're not just Tekkit Legends now. You've modded
Legends,
it.
Plus more mods.
You've added more mods
We've
to
added
it.
thermal expansion, open blocks,
And you were complaining that it was broken, and I said
No,
that's because you always add mods to mod packs that don't
Really
support these mods.
No, I was complaining that something was broken before adding the mods.
Was it the same thing?
Yeah, exactly the same. The liquids in Tekkit Classic are fucked up for some
But I've
reason.
played the mod pack you made yourself, and that's buggy as hell.
Yeah, that is also buggy as hell. But that's because I have more mods on and I made it myself.
Speaking of Minecraft mods, if they're they're making the Modcraft Mind store.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that. Last week we were talking about Bethesda's making the Creator Studio. What's it called? The Creator Cave.
The creator. It is Creation Club?
I can have a look.
Creation
Actually.
Club.
I didn't write it down actually. No, I can't.
I'm pretty sure it's the Creation Club.
I just said paid mods are
I'm
back.
pretty sure it's Creation Club. Yeah, everyone's like going, oh yeah, GTA mods are dead. Bethesda are doing paid mods again. It's like, and no one's...
Have you seen the OpenIV thing?
No.
Take-Two have been... There was a... OpenIV is like a creation tool to make GTA mods, and they sent like some lawyers round to shut the thing down. Like Take-Two and Rockstar have been trying to like actively destroy all GTA mods.
We're happy to report that it's now overwhelmingly negative in recent reviews on Steam, but it's on sale, so people are buying it.
They just changed the creation system to make it easier to use, and TB said on Twitter today, actually, it's now a lot easier to change his recommendation of GTA 5 from recommended to not recommended.
Yeah.
Because of their awful treatment of mod creators.
Yeah.
So strange. That doesn't make any sense.
So you can retroactively change it, basically.
What I'm saying is, the point I was making is Minecraft's doing exactly the same thing as Bethesda, and nobody's talking about it.
It's actually almost exactly the same.
Did I dream that Minecraft is coming to the Switch?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
They announced that E3. It's cross-platform play.
Oh, that is cool.
So that now that apart from the Java version, the Windows 10 version and all the versions on consoles are just called Minecraft.
Okay.
So you can cross-platform play with Windows 10, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, all at the same time, and tablet,
I
mobile
thought
as
you
well.
couldn't go through PlayStation though.
What?
I thought you couldn't go through PlayStation. They didn't want to go through.
No, oh yeah, maybe they didn't on PlayStation.
Because Sony were like, fuck off.
They wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
But I know to play it on Switch, you have to log into an Xbox Live account on Switch to play.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Here is my shiny Nintendo console.
Speaking of some news I didn't write down, but I thought it was quite interesting. Apparently, Discord have been marked by Nintendo to make the Switch chat.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're going to hire them to make the Switch chat.
There's a like in business, there's something which is incredibly similar to Discord that I honestly feel like they're either the same developers or maybe one was originally open source and they took a fork off of one onto another. But if you ever look up Slack is an
isn't that what developers use?
Yeah, so developers use
I've heard
Slack
about
channels,
that before.
Right? And if you just look at images, right, on Slack and tell me it does not look identical to Discord. Look here, right? That's basically Discord, right? You can't see anything there that really isn't. Anyway, it works really
But
useful.
everything's like a Discord clone these days as well. If you look at like...
But that's the point, right? The point I was making is
it's Twitch
I don't
app
mind
now.
that.
Oh, sorry.
If it's going to be Switch chat and it looks anything like that and it works half as well, that's awesome because that's how chat clients should be done.
So there was Cursed Voice. Did you ever heard of that?
Yep.
But they Curse got bought out by Twitch. They've just turned it into the Twitch app, which is a similar thing. Might be easier to just find a picture, but I was actually launching the program because I'm forced to have Twitch on the app on my computer.
You need it for
because I use. So basically, there was this thing called the Curse client because Curse got really popular for World of Warcraft add-ons and add-ons for games. Basically, so they had the Curse client where you could easily download add-ons and update them there. And then when they got bought out by Twitch, they forced you. They merged the Cursed add-on downloaded with the Cursed Voice. And then they merged it with Twitch.
You got grandfathered in.
And also now, with Twitch Prime, they release games on Twitch.
Oh,
they had the Twitch launcher.
Yeah.
And they've merged the Twitch launcher with the Twitch app now, so you can access your games on Twitch, similar to Steam sort of thing.
Do you use that? Like
16. I didn't know I had Martin on here. Or maybe that's not mine. Okay. Oh, that must be his Twitch account, because my Twitch account's linked to this.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with him on Twitch. Okay. Anyway, we're talking about Slack, Nintendo. We're talking about Discord making the Switch chat, and the Switch chat's going to be on mobile.
That's cool.
So there's no you can't actually access the chat on the Switch. All the chat is going to be.
Oh. No, that isn't cool.
It's actually awful. It's like Sony wires everywhere.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it said Discord interested in working on Nintendo Switch chat, so I don't know if there's like an official partnership yet.
I mean, I saw a review the other day about a guy that was basically complaining about how the Switch controller is the one that comes with that gives it a keyboard so you can use it is terrible.
Yeah,
it's just really awful. So I can understand why they probably want to say most people are going to carry a mobile phone with them anyway.
Yeah, but I can just call them there.
But yeah, at that point,
I could just use Discord. I literally could use Discord.
The Discord out and put them there. So that is a weird decision
because they have like a text chat thing that's going to be through your mobile phone app.
Oh, of course, it's Nintendo, right? So they'll do this thing like they did with their, you could put those tags up everywhere, like the pictures people would draw, and they would slowly like pop up. And then Nintendo did this whole thing. They were like, we don't want any more penises to be drawn on Nintendo.
Oh yeah, it was on the
because they really like. I don't want to say they Nazi'd it a lot, but
they did.
It was on one of those thing, right? Like Me World things.
Yeah. So maybe they're just keen to avoid that kind of thing again, where they're just saying we're happy for people to talk. We just don't want them to do it on our Switch.
I just want to, if it is shit, just use the Discord app on your phone because then you don't need it to be plugged into the actual Switch. And if you're using it as a console, it means you'd have to have the phone cord like really far away from the actual thing. It's just stupid.
Okay, I'm really
the voice chat for the Splatoon 2 looks very complicated. I think just use Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Officially
would recommend
the podcast.
If they could make
recommends Discord.
Do you think they'd allow them to make a Discord app on the Switch?
Oh, like an add-on thing for it.
But
yeah, maybe.
I feel like that would take probably a lot of API work to do for Nintendo.
Maybe.
Well, Discord said that they are willing to work with the Switch for a voice app. So.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway,
who knows? We'll see.
So you want to talk about Overwatch, Daniel?
Yeah, sure. That's basically what I've been
timestamp for Overwatch. All right.
Here we go.
Turn off the podcast now and click on the next timestamp.
So yeah, I've been playing a bit of Overwatch this week. There's tons of updates. I've been trying to play more placement matches. I've done my placement matches, but now I'm trying to climb the ladder, which is really, really hard at the moment for me because my internet connection is fast but not stable.
You were saying the other day.
So
what did you do to it?
Nothing. He just moved. Left
he lives in an old house with his girlfriend.
Yeah,
okay.
So
it doesn't have very good infrastructure.
It's haunted. No, it's fine.
Haunted with the internet ghosts.
Yeah, the internet ghosts to play
using your Wi-Fi throughout the day.
BTE. But basically, I've slowly managed to climb the ladder. But the difficulty is now, I basically don't want to play competitive because the second that I get kicked out of a match, regardless of how quickly I reconnect, I'm going to lose SR. You lose, I think it's either 25 or 50 SR just for leaving. Even if you come back and your team wins, you do not gain SR.
Yeah.
There's no offset, it's just you left, you lost. And that makes sense to a degree, right? I used to complain all the time about people who would leave halfway.
What does SR stand for?
Skill rating.
Skill rating.
And it was like...
Because it always confuses me because it sounds like summoner rating, which is like a League of Legends thing.
Different. But no, they...
the same
I always complained when I had a decent intake. I was like, why are people leaving? This sucks. You're really a negative, impact to me.
But
and now I am that person. Right? And so you're like...
It's come full circle.
What's going on here? So, you're like, on this one hand, I want to try and play when I know the internet is just working. So I tend to play a few games of quick play, which is like, basically, I become a Hanzo main for like half an hour. And I'm like, okay, the internet doesn't seem to have died. I'll try and play. So I'm getting like closer and closer to plat. And I was basically there the other night, and then the internet just kept dying. When you get... Do you ever get like tunnel vision in the game? You're like, I don't care that I'm doing bad. I'm going to keep going, and you really should just stop and leave it for a while. Yeah. That's what I should have done. So then I just decay down. I was like, oh, crap.
The internet goes struck again.
Yeah. So, I've been playing Overwatch.
Are you sure it's the internet and you're not just bad?
No, it's a combination of both. It's definitely a combination of both. I'm in gold, so I'm allowed to just blame everybody else.
Because I've had a lot of experience in multiplayer games. Like, I played League of Legends for 3 years, so I know what toxicity is.
Yeah.
And sometimes trying to explain
what toxicity is.
So sometimes trying to explain to some of my friends who, when I see them playing like competitive Overwatch for the first time, it's like maybe one of their first competitive games, they're trying to explain to them that if they want to climb, they need to think about...
what's best for the whole team.
No. They need to think about how to play the best for themselves and not blame their teammates.
Yeah, but they still have to play as a team.
Yeah, I'm saying play as a team, but when you finish the game and you look back at the game, even if 5 of your teammates were AFK, you have to go, what could I have done better?
Well, we talked about this before when we talked about Elo Hell doesn't exist. So.
Elo Hell is a mental prison.
No, Elo Hell's definitely real. No, it's not real. I agree. It is that kind of thing. After a while, you kind of just... I find it's difficult, though. Like, you join games and you realise, like, okay, well, these people have just picked 4 DPS characters, and you're like, I can get tank or healer, and I'll still probably not win this, but I'll do my best. And sometimes it works out okay, but yeah. Anyway, so I've been playing some competitive, been playing some quick play. I've been on the PTR, and now that it's actually done the update, I have been in the proper client, which is got the new Horizon Lunar
Have you played
map. Yep, it's pretty cool, but I don't like it in terms of map design. So the idea about going outside with the low gravity and the no sound stuff, really awesome. Really like that's pretty cool.
Because I played that as soon as it came out on live because I didn't bother with PTR. And I was talking to Tony on Discord at the time, and I couldn't find the outside section for the longest time.
So
it's so hard to find the low gravity section.
The scale is too big. There are too many off-shooting corridors that make it really hard to find people. I feel like the 2 points are just miles away from each other, and it's like, why is this place so big? And not only that, the final defense spawn, right, reminds me of a TF2 map. I cannot remember the name. But basically, there's this wall here.
They can't see your hands.
I know, but to the right and to the left of this wall there's a door behind it.
There's a wall in the middle.
Yeah,
anyone listening.
and you have to filter out to either side of this, whereas the attacking team could just basically spawn camp you there and stand on the point. It's kind of similar to Hanamura's kind of last defense point in a way, except way bigger, so harder to kind of push in on, I think. I just don't necessarily like it. The aesthetic's cool, the lore is awesome. I like Winston's talking and all the guys in one of the spawn rooms. I think it's the attacker spawn room. There's a ginormous telescope. And you can jump on a button and the door opens up and you can look through and like certain characters say certain things. And like, I think, not Junkrat, Roadhog has one of the weirdest voices and he just goes, oh, right. That's it. Doesn't say anything else. That's weird. Go on. Okay, I was just going to say, so the Horizon Lunar Colony app, I think, is okay, but then I don't like Oasis either, which is, I think, the latest one that was also...
I like Oasis.
Like, I'm used to it now, but I didn't like it when it came out.
Bounce pad, low grav, gimmicks.
Yeah, so those are the changes that got put in, and they've also, in the moment in the arcade as well, there are just a standard map rotation, but with low gravity, which is silly fun. Then there are the changes that they have made recently to characters. So there is Roadhog, whose gun basically seems to have had a massive nerf, and so he can't basically reliably.
What they did is they released the damage, and they increased the clip size, I think, or they made the attack faster. Or something.
Yeah, so you do damage quicker to them,
his head,
but you can't.
Smaller as well.
Yeah, his head's smaller as well.
You can't as reliably one-hit someone now as Roadhog, which was kind of needed because it meant that if you were a DPS character or something that's a bit more squishy and you were caught out of position, Roadhog was just a guarantee, just like, I'll get this guy, he's out the way, I'll get this guy. And he had high skill, right? Because like, you have to be able to get
I was talking about this the other day with Tony. You remember what I said? Like, I think there is counterplay to Roadhog. I don't think if you got hooked and you got shot, you were dead. But the thing is, if you're getting hooked,
you're in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place anyway. It's like there's a League of Legends player called Sven, and he says there's this champion called Nidali who throws spears at you, and one of his most known saying is, "If you've got a mouse, you can't get hit by Nidali spears." That's quite a funny saying. If you've got a mouse, you can't get hit by Nidali spears.
So yeah. There's the changes they've made there. They fixed Reinhardt. Reinhardt's hammers felt really weird for a while. Like, don't know what it is they changed, but like his swings, some of them didn't seem like they should have been connecting.
They didn't change
when they
Reinhardt, did they?
This might be in the PTR currently.
Okay.
They're fixing.
So this is on the PTR patch you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Because you didn't finish the live patch yet.
Oh, I'll go back to that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I seem to have jumped around like a madman, but still. And I think the other main thing that people were talking about this PTR patch is that they seem to have fixed Sombra's translocator as well. But the last PTR thing that's in there is probably the biggest thing in terms of Overwatch as a whole. They have changed the way that loot boxes actually work now. So when you get a loot box, there is a massively reduced chance of getting a duplicate. I think there is still a chance. It's not no duplicates, but most people I have seen who have opened them have not got duplicates.
The other thing about duplicates, so I don't forget, is they've increased how much currency you get. Yeah,
exactly. So
as well,
getting duplicates is not as bad as it used to be. It used to be you'd see this like legendary coin flip out and you'd see it land, you're like, and then suddenly it'd be like, oh, and it's one I've already got, and that means I've got like 200. Whereas if it had been an actual legendary, especially if it was an event legendary, those cost $3,000.
No, I don't think you get more money for duplicates. I think if you get currency, you get more money.
I think it's both. I'm not sure. We'd have to check.
Because they said it was a concern when people wanted to save up money to buy skins in events.
Yeah.
So when they gave you currency, they were just going to give you more overall.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so that's pretty cool. I think I've yet to open my my PTR loot boxes to test this myself. I've been playing for a while and I've bought so many loot boxes, it's unreal. So there's not many I don't have, so it's not very often I don't get just 4 duplicates when I open a loot box. So I'd be interested to see if I open them up, if I similarly get a 5 run with no duplicates in it at all. Because most of the comments that I saw about people that have opened their 5 PTR loot boxes have not had any duplicates at all. So that's pretty cool. I saw, obviously, they're doing Twitch Prime Golden Loot Box now, so you can claim that.
I've got my legendary from Twitch Prime.
And that guarantees you 1 legendary in-game, so that's best loot box you can possibly get, but obviously you can't buy them, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so I opened it, and I can confirm I got a Hockey Lucio skin I didn't own.
Nice. So that is a plus. And I can't even remember what other changes that they've
On the
made.
PTR?
In general, I can't remember.
I remember.
The crosshairs as well.
So on PTR they have custom crosshairs, and the brand new replay feature is a big one.
Yeah, how did I miss that? That's the main point.
No matter what you're playing in on Overwatch, you can get your highlights from your replays.
Yeah, there's 2 sides to it. You can either
record your own.
You can either
highlights.
have the highlights that are automatically captured at the end of the game. They'll be stored, and you can then either process those, which we'll talk about a bit in a moment. Or alternatively, if you think, actually, those past, I think it's 15 seconds of footage I just did, plus whatever I'm doing now for a few seconds, I think, were really awesome. You can hit a keyboard command.
You have to bind it yourself.
Capture.
You're not bound by default.
And it will capture it, and you can go in afterwards.
You have 3 slots.
And you can export those in either 1080p at 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second.
It's limited to 1080p on consoles, I think.
Okay, and if you're on Windows 7, you're limited to 1080p. But if you're on Windows 8 and above, then you can re-render those in 4K.
I don't play Overwatch. I wouldn't worry.
Tony's been holding on to his Windows 7 for the longest time.
I think that
I'm surprised he's not still running Tiny XP or something like that in the corner.
XP is still being updated by unofficial updates. I don't know if you
probably
know that.
That's probably only because the US military have so many. Fun fact: the US military basically had to pay Microsoft to keep updating XP because so much of their infrastructure was built around XP.
Well, to be fair, I can understand why they want to use XP, because it uses they can put it on a smaller computer to run the same amount of stuff. They don't need to look pretty.
But this is why Microsoft do what they do now, which is massive tangent by the way. Microsoft force you to move so much quicker because it means they don't get these situations like they had before where people get locked into XP.
I hate their business practice though, so I'm not going to buy Windows 10.
Okay. I mean, you did get it free for a long time, though.
Yeah, and they tried to they almost updated my computer, but I forced reboot.
Do you want to download this update?
No.
Sure I do.
No,
that's Windows 10.
I restarted my computer and it was like, oh, we have to do all of this stuff. So I don't want to do all this stuff. No, we have to.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, we're now ready to update. And it's like, no, force reset.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, Windows.
You're dead, moose meat.
So yeah, I'm not getting Windows 10. Fuck you, Microsoft. You can quote me on that.
Untangerining. So on the PTR, you can export your replay. So on Xbox, it goes to your shared media library, which is whatever that is, and on PlayStation, it has a shared media library. On PC, it goes to a folder on your computer. I think it's wherever your Overwatch is stored. And no matter what resolution or FPS you were playing the game in, you can render the highlight onto your computer as a video file in anything up to 60 FPS 4K with what's it called?
Post-processing.
Yeah.
So super sampling you're talking about.
Super sampling, that's the one I was
Make it look really, really clean.
Yeah.
And of course it's not going to slow down time because it's already happened. So this is really reminiscent of what they did this right for TF2 when they brought out the replay editor.
Did they?
Right? Yeah. TF2 did this. You used to
always
always
dead game.
They
It's a dead game still,
always
yeah.
used to have replays in TF2. Like Sources had them from basically day one.
I'm sure nobody cares, but they did just release a giant TF2 patch.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Okay.
Point is,
It's not dead thing though. It's like top 7, right?
but the point is, right? Sources always had these kind of replays in it, and the point was, you're not storing video files. It used to be whenever you started
it just records like the variables in the match.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like
it's like where were people
a
stood
notepad
based on the server, and all you would do is like when people used to play what was it? They used to play competitive games. You could sign up for them for like pickup games and stuff. They'd always say whenever you join the game, the first thing you do is you start recording a demo. So if anyone ever accuses you of cheating and then goes on there, you share those demos and people are like, dude wasn't cheating. So that's how they did a lot of that stuff. So
Tangerine,
no, because eventually you can't tangerine away from a TF2. Anyway, so eventually they brought out the replay editor, which allowed you to have much more granular control over this, and you could publish much more like better looking videos, right? So TF2's done this for a long time, and people made these massive comparisons between TF2 and Overwatch when they first came out. Obviously now we know they're much more different games. But it just goes to show you that these good ideas that still exist in other games, it's nice to know that, because people have been asking for this in Overwatch for a long time. Like, since they first saw plays of the game, it's like, cool, there's this highlight section. Oh, I can watch that again. It's like, where's the button to save this and keep it forever? Because I want to remember that. So that's cool. I think
one thing I'd love to see come from TF2 is Payload Race. That's my favourite game mode.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think it would be hard to do with Overwatch. I feel like that's the kind of thing where the meta wouldn't be as important as characters who are specifically good at Payload Race.
But there's no like scout, so there's no one who can push the payload faster.
I think does she? She doesn't count the point 2 times faster.
No, she's not scout.
But she's kind of similar. She doesn't have. She's like a. I guess if you wanted scout in TF2, like from TF2, and you'd have to combine Genji and Tracer to a degree, like so really fast, and then you get double jump from Genji. But anyway,
that's a game, a custom game.
Yeah,
Genji Tracer.
You're Tangerine off Overwatch super hard.
To be honest, it's not that. There's a lot to have been.
Well,
talked about,
I can talk about it because I actually remember the patch.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so what was I going to? So I played the new Horizon Zero Dawn map. That's what I'm going to call it.
Horizon Zero Dawn map.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Horizon.
Horizon
Zero,
Horizon
isn't
Colony.
it?
No,
right.
it's Horizon Colony Lunar Base or something like that.
Okay. So
Zero.
It took me forever to find the
outside bit.
the low gravity section because I couldn't figure it out because it's like the doors are very inconspicuous, so it's like quite hard to actually find them because they instantly open and they don't make a sound. Because they said on the developer update video that they wanted you to be able to start a Rhine charge and then the doors open as you like charge through. But I did find one bug with it where inside space there's no sound, of course. And then when I went back in from space, I was still having some kind of sound.
You're still in
issues.
space. It's just pressurizing for you.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So on the current patch, as well as the Roadhog nerfs, they changed Reaper. He no longer drops Soul Globes.
Yep, he now just slowly gets lifesteal from his
so
shots. That's really well.
He gets lifesteal from all of his abilities, including his ultimate, which means he's very hard to kill when he's channeling his ult on a full team.
Which is, I mean, that was true to a degree before. Like, when he actually used his ult, as soon as he got that first person and gone over their globe, it was like, okay, then he's got a bit more health, and he goes over the next person gets it. But this is so much more powerful, because although the lifesteal is less than the orb would actually give you...
You don't have to kill them.
You don't have to physically move, because a sensible team would, like, move away from the ulting Reaper, and then he has to go over to that orb to try and get the health back, and then they just focus him, and then he's dead, right? Now it's like, this, I'm healing, I'm killing, and then he's done. It's much quicker.
And they buffed McCree's ult.
Well, yeah, so he locks on 0.2
seconds instead of 0.8.
Yeah.
And his base damage is increased from 20 to 80.
It's 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock. Yeah.
I think, again, that's a welcome change for McCree. Most of I watch a guy who streams lots of DPS stuff. He's a really good Ana player. He's called Gale Adelaide.
No.
I can't remember who he plays well. It might be FaZe. Who knows? Anyway, he plays a lot of McCree, and he's always said before the patch, McCree's ult was
pretty
basically
useless.
zoning.
Yeah.
It just forced people to move slightly, and even if you get even just one kill with it, that's an excellent use of McCree's ult. Like you see all these people in quick play who are like, check out my six double kill, and you're like, yeah, but that doesn't happen in the real world, because if that is happening, then you're against a quote unquote bad team sort of thing, then it should not be visible.
Is that what you want to say?
I was saying, if the skills are equal...
He's taking a drink of water. Are you going to do a ventriloquist act?
I'm talking through Tony now.
Okay. I was going to ask, though, are you suggesting then if you go against two equally matched teams, then like you instantly get shot as soon as you go, it's high
Yeah.
So McCree's ult was always based on health, if I recall. I think it probably still is. So the targets with more health, he locks onto slower. So the circle slowly closes in and in. So when there's a character like Tracer, her head gets locked on really quick. But that makes sense because she zips away really quickly. Yeah. Usually,
that's how she's been balanced.
Usually the people with less health are slightly more mobile.
Yeah.
But if a character is damaged, it took that into consideration. So if there's like a Reinhardt at death's door, then it would just like snap onto him really quickly. Yeah. So I imagine that is still the case. It's just the fact that it locks on that bit quicker. So
so you can actually, instead of it's high noon and he's dead, he actually has to get one shot in at least.
Exactly, yeah.
Because can you really counter something after 0.2 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, there's another argument to this as well that people are saying that McCree's ult was not necessarily bad because it was bad. It was also the fact that it makes him into a walking nuclear reactor the second he uses it, right? You can use positional audio to know exactly where he is and go and say, McCree's over there, I'm going to go try and kill him. And if you didn't hear him for whatever bizarre reason,
you always hear him. That's why I can tell.
So bright coming around any corner, like, I see McCree's around that corner. I'll just put my crosshair here. Here he comes. Okay, he's dead.
Oh, I played the low gravity. I played the new low gravity map. I also played the new low gravity on every map.
Yeah.
Did you play Bastion?
No.
Well, the thing is, you can keep your momentum in the sky, so you can just jump up and turn into turret form, and you're like a mobile turret. I was like, because I was just looking, because I was just thinking, because I hadn't seen anyone do this, so I was looking at all the characters, and I was like, wait a minute, surely Bastion's just broken as hell in this game mode, because you're like a mobile turret at that point.
Yeah.
Should they make it so you can't transform into a turret while you're in the
air? They said they're not gonna balance and...
Oh no, yeah, I understand that. But...
Because they do that on purpose, right? Because the whole point of Bastion is some good Bastion players, there's a really good Bastion player called Colorblind, will do stuff where they basically almost use him
His
to a
posts on Reddit
degree.
always make me feel sick.
Who? Colorblind?
Yeah, because he posts it in purple and green, because he's colorblind.
Yeah, exactly. So, he'll dive off of a ledge or something behind the enemy team, transform mid-jump sort of thing, and start firing. So in a normal game mode, that's not overpowered. He's just good.
I guess you could ban so it could only activate when he lands. Then he can transform, but he won't actually be able to do anything in that.
Yeah, like Junkrat's ult. You can
I guess so.
Because then you can easily balance it for the 0G mode or low gravity mode.
There's I can't remember if there are still characters which can not knock Bastion out of turret mode, because it used to be that he would move but he would stay in turret mode, but I think now anything that knocks him out of turret
anything
mode,
that's CC no, I think it's like
there's a reason. I don't think it reaches
anything that stuns him. So like McCree, no, I don't think McCree. I know for sure
Bastion
Roadhog
just has way too many interactions with people that I can't explain.
I know for sure Roadhog pulls him out of turret form. But Winston Primal Rage doesn't bring him out of turret form.
Yeah, no, he stays rooted to the spot as well, doesn't he? So, yeah, I guess there's not really much you can do there. Anyway, that's Overwatch.
Well, there's something else. Oh, they stealth nerfed my favourite feature on this patch, and I'm super annoyed. They removed, at the end of the match, it asked you to rate the game.
Oh, yes.
So
I've never used that.
I always used it.
I think, in fact, I tell you what, I think I used it the first season I played in competitive, and then I've promptly forgotten that exists until you.
It's a great.
So you would say, I liked this game. I didn't like this game. This game was okay. And after every match, I'd click on it, and I was like, this probably doesn't do anything, but it's very cathartic.
Lethargic, I think, is the word.
No, cathartic.
Cathartic?
Cathartic. It's a psychological term that means doing something to make you feel better. Like playing violent video games is very cathartic. because it gets out all your
Gonna have
violent
to Google it. I
tendencies.
think you mean lethargic.
No, lethargic means lazy.
Oh, okay.
Cathartic.
I might learn. There you go with the T.
Providing psychological relief through the open expression of strong emotion, causing catharsis.
I like this.
I studied psychology.
I've learnt something
But
today.
You're sidetracked from the most important
Okay,
part
yeah,
that I got from this. They got some really important data from this feature.
Did they?
It was very cathartic to do this, because like I say, I liked this game because I won. I hate this game because they lost, and I think it was Jeff who said in a post on the forums they were using this data to try and learn what to do with the game, and what they said was, what we learned from this was people liked winning and hated losing.
It's like, that makes sense.
So they removed it from the game for that reason. But
it was useless.
and they said they were cleaning up the UI as well, so they're removing that. But
I saw one guy suggest something
really
that I
enjoyed
kind
that.
of thought was cool the other day. That was the idea was, at the end of each game, they've got cards that people can vote on, and they don't mean anything, but it's a kind of morale boost for people. The suggestion was to remove all the team colour from those and the names underneath. So it was just the image of the person, just the stat. Right?
yeah, but
How
that
do you know
wouldn't
who was
work
suited?
if there was like an enemy mercy and a friendly mercy.
Yeah,
Exactly. You
how
wouldn't
do you-
know.
but
the
how
point.
would you know?
How would you know who you were voting
Yeah,
for?
because you could go, I got killed by the enemy mercy really easily.
on there. I guess you would just...
You go, I got killed by the enemy Reaper, I got killed by the enemy mercy, she was really good.
Yeah, maybe you'd have to keep the name on there, but I guess the stats would just have to speak for themselves. So if one stat said this person got like 6 reses, and
Yeah,
this
but
one was
I think
like,
a lot
I'm
of
going to
people
look up a
don't
Dota 2 thing,
I think a
because
lot of people look at
speaking of
that.
psychological things, I think Valve talked about this at Dev Days, where they said there was like a real psychological thing where they got to rate their teammates after each match of Dota 2.
They always got the highest of themselves.
no, they got to rate themselves as well.
They have like some sort of weird rating system.
Doesn't everyone do that? They rate themselves slightly higher than they...
Teammate
otherwise
evaluation.
would
The second that the game is over, if I have a card on Overwatch like self promote, I've got an instant
be. Oh,
self
do
promote.
you?
It's
I
going to
don't
happen.
think I don't think
The only time
I didn't
won't
do that on
it-
the free weekend, so...
The only time I will not do that is if there's someone who is clearly in the game, been better in every way. Otherwise, it's just like, if it was really average, like self promote, it's there. It's got to
No, because I don't think... I remember they did this really cool thing. I was like, I'll vote that.
At least back then, when you were asked to rate your own teammates' performance, the point was, as far as I can remember, that if you gave yourself the maximum amount of stars,
Even though you were useless, the question would plant some sort of thought in your brain. Hey, I know I didn't play well, but in the end, this would make you play a better player. That's weird.
No, I think it's the opposite.
They showed some statistics from Dev Days last year where they said players that were who rated their teammates after a game were way less likely to be toxic towards them or toxic in their other games. So I do actually think there's a huge, even though it's a small change and people probably don't care, I do think there is a real psychological catharsis that they've removed from the game with this stealth.
That word now,
Well, it's a real word. I know it exists.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you've been playing Overwatch. I think we talked about everything.
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing in there that I think is particularly... I played... You probably already talked about it on a previous podcast, but I've now played the 6v6 lockout and elimination stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, so you've played the new maps. I don't think
Yeah.
we talked about this because you haven't been on in a while.
No, okay, so those are cool.
Quickly, because Danny will die otherwise.
He will, that's fine.
dying.
He's wilting away over there. Basically, they're existing maps, but not really, so that they're set in the same area.
It looks the
So
same.
there's
style.
one that's same as Dorado, but it's a different area.
Doritos.
Correct.
That's
There's
what I call
one
them.
which is based in...
Toblerone on Doritos.
where's the other one? The Black Forest, which is another part of
Icon
World.
World, Black
and...
Forest.
Is there another one?
In Germany.
Yes. It's Cairo, Egypt.
Is it... What?
The Egypt map.
There's an Egypt map?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
so-
played the one with them.
Aztec. It looks Aztec-y, almost. Like Aztec.
I just typed in Egypt. I don't know.
it's somewhere in Egypt.
It's
I know
what
which one you mean
Ilias?
now.
No, not Ilias.
It's very
Now loading
Aztec
Anubis.
And-
Anubis is the map. It's above.
yeah, that makes sense. So,
Right, let's go.
so the-
Akbed
so originally had the 3v3 eliminations, which were
Don't
cool,
go to Qatar.
but people obviously would just pick the best heroes. So it'd be like, oh, cool, let's pick Roadhog, Anna, and or Roadhog, Lucio, and Soldier 76 because heals. And so what they then did was like, okay, here's 3v3
Necropolis,
again.
Castillo, and Black Forest.
So what they did in the first was like, okay, we're replacing 3v3s with lockout 3v3, which is whereby once you've played and won with a set of characters, you cannot pick those characters again for the rest of the remaining matches. And then, once they tried this for a bit, they changed it so that you could then do this with 6v6.
6v6 is really fun.
And it works really well because you get these people that come in and they're like, almost the one-trick players that you see are like, yes, I'm going to pick my Soldier 76 really well. They get, okay, yeah, you won the first round. Then they're like, crap, I'm going to play Farah now. And they're just like, how do I use Farah? And they die. So it means the game's lasts longer.
Because you have to win, it's a best of 3.
Yes.
So there's 6 of you, so you have to play at least 18 characters, and there's 24 characters
26?
in Overwatch. Is it?
I don't know.
Somewhere around there. So
some silly number.
you only have like a tiny bit of leeway with what characters you pick. You almost have to pick all of them. So I usually go in and try and win at least one game on Bastion. And then I don't have to play Bastion.
This is why I wish the highlight thing was in there quicker, because I had a great game on Bastion 6v6 lockout the other day where I actually killed everyone on the enemy team. The rest of my team just didn't know what to do, and I was just going around in recon mode, just like, there's a person over there, and I'm healing myself, and there's a person over there. It's like, I'm basically Soldier 76 now, but I can't sprint. It went well.
So I think that's all we've got to talk about with Overwatch. You're back in the room.
I think we're done with Overwatch.
Hell, don't you love Overwatch?
So Winston is my main
so
man.
Hearthstone actually got an update as well, which kind of ties into the Overwatch thing, because there's now no duplicate legendaries in Hearthstone packs, and the first 10 packs you buy in an expansion will have one guaranteed legendary in it.
Oh, so now's the time for me.
My boy Ben Brode said.
Is that the same thing? That's something else we didn't talk about in Overwatch. You can't hoard loot boxes. You've never been able to in Overwatch because the contents are rolled when you earn the loot box, not when you actually open it. Don't know if you knew that. But do you reckon? I think that might probably be the same for Hearthstone packs. So people have been saving them all this time. I reckon it's probably the same thing, that you're not just suddenly going to get legendaries galore now.
No, probably not.
So does that mean that dust is still a thing, or is dust gone away because
dust is still a thing? Yeah.
So you can still craft.
Well, people were complaining, especially this expansion. Journey to Ungoro.
It's really difficult to build a deck. You said.
Because it's just so expensive these days. Because almost all of the new cards this expansion were legendaries. Because they built what were called quest cards, which were like the flavor of the expansion. So every class got this legendary spell. And it was and a lot of the new cards are epics as well. So it's become very expensive to play Hearthstone, and this is kind of in response to people complaining about that. And the cost of packs has gone up because of pricing changes, they said. But yeah,
it's too hard to print all those fake digital cards.
Running out of digital ink, guys.
Well, I sent you a news article the other day, and it said MTG has bought something, and then I was like, "Oh, Magic the Gathering." I thought they were Wizards of the Coast or something.
What did they buy? I can't remember what that was now.
I'd have to look it up because I don't think I put it on the podcast. MTG.
It's like
it's Swedish.
It was interesting.
Does something because I swear, like if I type MTG, it'll just come up with the.
No, I think that's the right company.
Swedish Entertainment, MTG. Oh, they bought Congregate for 55 million.
People.
Yeah, they bought them for 55 million.
That's weird.
So the MTG is the Swedish entertainment group, and they're the owner of DreamHack, NESL. These are really big, like esports tournaments. So they've agreed to buy Congregate, and I have no idea what they're doing for it.
Nobody knows.
They're buying it off GameStop as well. Apparently.
Yeah, no,
is that a good thing?
I think we covered this before, and we still weren't sure what GameStop were going to do with it. I'm sure we covered this past. At the back of my head, this is ringing a bell. I was
like last year.
Good luck, GameStop. Good luck with all those Flash games in Flash, which is a dying medium.
I don't. Yeah, does
familiar,
Congregate
actually.
still do Flash games?
I feel like they do proper games now as well. Like I feel like they've branched out and they've got much more.
So it's like the Apple Store now or Google Store.
Do they do mobile games?
Probably.
A lot of these look like.
Do you know? Because did you know Blizzard owns Candy Crush?
No.
Yeah, they acquired Candy Crush a couple of years ago for a couple of billion.
Huh.
Well, Blizzard Activision.
Yeah, Blizzard.
You always forget how big the Hydra is sometimes, don't you?
Because didn't Amazon just buy something as well?
Oh, Amazon bought something huge.
I think the Amazon CEO is coming up to Bill Gates in terms of the richest guy.
His name's Jeff Bezos. I've met him.
Yeah, they bought Activision bought Candy Crush for 5.9 million in November of 2015. No, 9.5 billion. Sorry.
More important than that, leaked photos of Tesla Model 3 ignite an internet power struggle.
No.
I feel like that's not true. Yeah, that's clickbait.
Yeah, it's
I'm a big Elon Musk fan, so...
Me too.
It does look good. Why are we talking about cars?
Because I'm here and I derail every podcast.
That is true.
And I love the Tesla Model 3.
You do derail every
It's got that weird sunroof as well, doesn't it?
So it's a panoramic sunroof that goes the whole way.
Yeah, I actually really like those. I think they're really cool.
But I don't know if I don't think the one on the Model 3 moves. I think it's just kind of there.
Yeah, but I still like them though. I like being able to see those.
Yeah, the one in the...
Apparently
the
someone
S.
on the Tesla Motor Reddit saw it pulling up and he took some photos of it.
Oh, okay.
Please PM me, it said. That's what I read from his thing.
Yeah, they might
Yeah, just PM him, guys.
PM him on Reddit.
That's cool.
Chicago's new Apple store has giant MacBook on the
Oh,
roof.
God.
Don't stop! Go
We're
back!
in so much clickbait territory here.
The Verge.
It's the Verge podcast.
Close the tab!
The Verge is clickbaiting me.
This was my fault.
Wait, what did Amazon buy again?
I want to know what Amazon buy for like 30
They've just
million.
gone for Amazon.
Fuck's sake,
now.
it keeps auto-completing the link. They bought Whole Foods.
Oh yeah, that was it.
okay. Oh yeah, they're trying to really break into the groceries market now.
Yeah, they bought Whole Foods for...
So Amazon grocery has existed for a long time. It's just people haven't particularly picked it up because... I mean, in the States, I'm sure they do to a degree, but...
I want my
here,
food delivered by drone.
I can get things dirt cheap somewhere else. I don't need Amazon to get them for me. And so they did that whole thing that they always do, which is like, the reason you're going to go buy from me from Amazon is because I'm going to make it so easy for you to shop. So I'm going to invent these little buttons that make you
so easy to not pay taxes.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to have this
Can't
little
believe
button,
there's no taxes.
and every time you need more shitting paper, you press this button and a drone will appear with more shitting paper.
Amazon's still not available everywhere though, because I hear from my Swedish friends they say that you don't get Amazon in Sweden. Like,
really?
You have to order from like the German Amazon.
Oh yeah,
To be fair, you can just drive through though, right? If you're an Amazon delivery.
They're just like, we can drive to like Norway or Finland.
Yeah.
And...
Do you have to pay extra for that? You think?
I imagine so, but
I
I
would
imagine
imagine so. Yeah.
maybe covered in sort of.
So anyway, they bought Whole Foods for I think it was 13 billion. Yeah, 13 billion.
Access
That's
to
more
the
than
free
much.
market. What a good idea that.
Do you know
is.
Amazon
No, we
has?
don't need that.
I'm going to Tangerine again. Do you know Amazon has like a music software thing?
Yeah, they do.
Similar to Spotify.
Yeah, the Amazon Music is.
No one uses it.
Because I tried it the other day and it didn't sound
It's not
that
great. And what annoys me about it is the fact that there are certain apps in my car that are supported, like Spotify,
Yeah.
Amazon Music, Deezer, and I was like,
Prime Music.
what the fuck? What is Deezer? What is TuneIn Radio? What is Amazon Music? Why is Google Play Music not on here?
Yeah. To be
Because
fair,
BMW, everybody.
Well,
we look at quickly becoming a car podcast.
because I was listening to the other day, testing it out. I was like, this even though I can listen to this without having to listen to Spotify free ads, I'd rather be listening on Spotify because the UI is awful and the sound quality didn't sound that great.
I guess this is a thing that they basically tried when they were selling their Fire Sticks and their Fire Kindle.
well, they
Fires.
want to expand Amazon to do everything basically. I think like everything digitally, everything on the market.
Anyway,
I mean, nuclear fuel rods coming to
Yeah,
Amazon soon.
we're going
and
on to
dilithium
news.
crystals.
dilithium crystals. I can't do it.
Daniel,
I'm giving her all she's got.
Daniel, you like switches?
I fucking love switches.
Get the
Switches,
anti
rocker switches.
Nintendo Switch
the Red
image
Dwarf Legion episode. Switch
So Nintendo says they're manufacturing more Switches, but they were struggling to meet demands of parts shortages. I think they were in competition with like Apple for parts for the Switch, and that's one of the main reasons they gave for not being able to manufacture as many Switches.
That sounds like a load of bollocks.
But
So another thing, this is random. Come back to that when we were talking about the keyboard for the Switch earlier.
Yeah,
we were
the
talking,
keyboard for the Switch.
Yeah, the keyboard for the Switch.
the reshooting one.
There's like a little tiny keyboard that you can use.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that Sega made this thing? Oh, this is such a weird tangent. Do you remember
Sega.
Sega for like Dreamscape Online or something? I can't remember what it's called. It had a controller for the Sega Dreamcast that had 2 controls outside and a full QWERTY keyboard in the middle.
No.
You should find a picture of that
Sorry,
at some point.
what
It's
do you want me to
hilarious.
type in?
Just put in Sega keyboard controller. It'll come up. It's so daft. Anyway,
Sega Dreamcast
you can't
keyboard?
actually, yeah. So you can't actually. No, that's maybe it was the N64.
Put controller at the end. See what happens.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yes, that's
This for the Nintendo
one. There you
64.
That's
go.
amazing.
The Sammy
That is
keyboard
beautiful.
controller
There you go.
GC.
There you go. That existed.
Why
Wow.
hasn't it happened?
How? So people complain about holding the original
N64
GameCube.
controller.
No, I think it's GameCube.
Yeah, that's right. The GameCube one
Pe-
that has like the one in the
People
middle.
always
like-
complain about holding like the GameCube and the N64 controllers. How the hell do you hold that?
Yeah.
You have really big arms.
You sit down and have it on your lap and occasionally.
No, 2 people
wiggle
play
it.
it. Yeah, you get a big jumper. You have 2 heads, like two-headed giant in Mania.
So
Anyway, Switch. The point was you can't even use that keyboard with the Switch whilst you're walking around because it only comes with a USB proper size one, not USB-C.
Okay.
How dumb. Moving on.
So
How
the next
dumb
piece of
indeed.
news: the Steam Summer Sale's on now.
I'm gonna buy some games.
You're going to buy some games for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because she's getting into PC gaming now, isn't she?
And it's a birthday.
Does that mean that you're, because of that, going to get into more games back because you've only been playing Overwatch for like the past
I hope so.
8 months?
Are you in Blizzard Hell?
No, I'm not
Daniel
in
doesn't get
Blizzard Hell.
stuck in Blizzard Hell because he only plays Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't get stuck in Blizzard Hell.
Do you get stuck on one
I
game,
enjoy
though?
Blizzard Hell, meaning it's kind of BDS.
No, but you think
Whoa.
you enjoy Blizzard Hell.
Oh, that's
But
true.
like, I get stuck in Blizzard Hell
Is it kind of like the Matrix? They pull it over your eyes.
because it's like,
everything's
do you know?
great
Do you know Sips? He talks about
Yes.
Blizzard Hell sometimes because he started streaming Overwatch
Yeah.
forever and he got really stuck. But yeah.
Last year, from
I get
September
stuck.
to December,
I get
you didn't
stuck
do anything.
in Overwatch. I get stuck in Diablo. I get stuck in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's the massive one that
Yeah.
sucks you in forever.
It's good. That
I
you
get
don't-
stuck in
It's
Hearthstone.
good that you don't like strategy games because otherwise you'd be playing StarCraft 2 as well.
Nobody's
true.
playing StarCraft.
Some people still do.
People are probably playing Brood War now.
Is it free yet?
The Brood War remaster.
The arcade is free.
So speaking of Blizzard, I'm going to tangerine off some more news.
Oh my God, this
There's
is
been
such a
job.
tangerine podcast. There's too many tangents.
There's been some job listings at Blizzard, and they one of them's for developing a new FPS, and another one's for developing mobile games set in the Warcraft universe.
Oh, that's cool.
So people are thinking that they're going to remaster Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2, and then have them run cross-play on
But
mobile.
FPS, though.
Yeah, I don't know what the
No,
FPS is
Overwatch.
though.
Come
Two.
on, no. Come on, just new IP. If it's more FPS from
It's gonna
anything
be
like
it's the
Overwatch,
StarCraft
it's like-
MMO.
Well, the
It's
thing is,
first-person shooter.
it'll be because they're releasing Destiny 2 on
that's
Battle.net
true.
as well.
That's an FPS, but
So that might be
they're only-
connected to that.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not.
They're third party
Developing it.
deving the PC version.
But they're not deving it though, are they? They're literally just releasing and hosting it so people.
Activision's the
can
publisher.
Yeah.
Which
Which is
three
part of this
three four
anyway,
is it
so-
Bungie or 343?
No, 343 did the Halo stuff. Bungie is Destiny now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 343 does
Halo.
Halo now.
And Bungie
and-
originally did, but now have just forked off onto Destiny.
It's,
Yeah, it's really confusing.
Bungie. Yeah.
It's a really confusing split.
Yeah. Anyway, our next piece of news. So the Steam Summer Sale is on with a weird sticker system where you do quests to collect
I'm not
stickers and
feeling
you
it.
fill them into a sticker
I
book.
don't do them anymore. The last one I did was the. Do you remember the like cookie clicker kind of thing?
Yeah,
You killed
that was
us for
really
clicking
good.
on them.
A couple of years ago.
Did that one? That one
That
was
was
fine
fun,
with me
yeah.
because you got stuff for doing it, and
You
it
could leave
was
it.
actually fun.
Yeah.
It was like I was obsessed with cookie
It was-
clicker when
it
it
was-
came out. I remember
It was
the Grand
quite funny
Apocalypse.
because it's like it was legitimately like a better clicker than a lot of clickers that are on Steam.
What's that good clicker where you harvest potatoes?
The one that Telbiscuit and Notch played.
Yeah, it's like you go into space and you farm potatoes, and it's like a clicker game, but it has an ending.
No idea.
It's really good. Check it out. I've
It's
talked
good.
about it before at some point.
Also, this
Um,
PayPal Luke Summer Sale. Have they not done that every year?
Yes, they've been doing that since 2015. PayPal leaked the summer sale again by accidentally sending out a tweet a couple of days too early. They started the annual tradition of leaking every winter and summer sale in 2015, where they accidentally showed on a banner that the Steam sale was coming in last winter 2015.
But they have to do that, right? if there's a point that says the Steam Winter Sale is coming, that's the point. They're saying get ready for it. It's coming.
Yeah,
So
but
it's not really leaking it.
They put out a tweet and then immediately deleted it.
They must be doing it on purpose at this point. There must be one guy sat in the office going,
I like
click the button.
You think before Elon moved on, he was like, we must set up accidentally, quote unquote, leaking the Steam sale so we can get more money.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Steam sale's on, pretty cool. Sticker gimmicks kind of weird, but there's still trading cards if you want to collect the badge.
I still don't care about cards.
Well, the good thing about badges is if you collect them all is that you get XP for crafting. No, you get XP for crafting the badge. And then the higher your Steam level, the more booster packs you get. The more booster packs you get, you can sell those.
Yeah, I got my first booster pack 2 days ago. I got Just Cause 3 booster pack. My first ever booster pack.
Tony's always complaining about never getting booster packs, but I get
finally
them all the
got
time.
one.
I don't play enough Steam games anymore to get them, but I did start Steam the other day and was just greeted with a booster pack which opened and had a foil card in it.
Oh,
that was worth
a foil card.
23 pence.
They didn't.
I had a foil worth 26
speaking of foil things in Tangerining off, they did an update to Pokemon Go and they added like a proper system.
Pokemon?
No, not yet, but people think they are going to add that at some point. There's a golden Magikarp in the game. I know that.
What?
Apparently it's super rare.
I'm surprised they're actually updating it still, though.
Well, people were complaining at Niantic for ages for not updating that game, but now they've done a patch too. You can now get badges by defeating gyms, I think.
Oh, that's good.
But
is anyone playing it now, though?
I don't know. Nobody on Twitch seems to stream Pokemon Go, unless they're like a big Pokemon Go streamer, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're being harsher to cheaters as well. They've said like they're trying to crack down on golden Magikarp. So yeah, that's kind of the end of the Steam Summer Sale. Pick up a lot of games. I can kind of show you the games that I thought were good.
That's Discord.
Yeah, I sent it as a picture to Tony on Discord.
Ah.
I don't think this will break the podcast, but if it does, I'm very sorry. I think I sent it on the stealth call.
That's just pictures of people with guns on their head.
Yeah, it's a picture of Ice Poseidon. So the ones I was thinking about getting was A Story About My Uncle, which is £1.49.
Golf with Your Friends is good.
Golf with Your Friends. All of my friends own it apart from me. It's £3.35 at the moment.
Do I own it?
So I want to pick it up.
Bradley, Ash, they've all got it. I have not bought it yet.
Omnibus Game of the Year Edition, £2.37. Another Devolver Digital hidden gem. Hollow Knight, £7.25. Metroidvania indie platformer, very highly recommended by people like Donkey. SteamWorld Dig, £1.74. Quite a good kind of mining platforming kind of game. Mad Max, Arkham style kind of combat in a Mad Max universe. £6.39.
I know Jim isn't a big fan of it, but
Darkest Dungeon, £7.59. That's a good deal. And Dying Light: The Following Enhanced Edition, £16.
That's everything, though, right?
Yeah. So Dying Light Enhanced Edition. It comes with all the DLC so far, and they announced at E3 this year they're going to be giving out 10 free updates to Dying Light. So there's still more content coming for the game.
That's the free running one, right?
It's like,
it's
like Good Dead Island.
The Good Dead Island.
Because I've played Dead Island.
Can you write a review and just have that as like the first, like,
say like the Good Dead Island.
I mean, Dead Island 1 was okay, and then I played Riptide on a free weekend with my friend Dave, and we pretty much completed the whole game in like one sitting, so it wasn't very long. All good. It was okay. Anyway, let's go back. So there's also the GOG sale is still on, I think. They're giving, if you don't know, they were giving away the original Killing Floor for free. I think they are still on sale, so check that out. They were just released The Blob 2 as well. Yeah.
Go back. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain podcast. There you go. Oh.
It might be gone now. I put this down ages ago. But I think Humble is still on sale. There's a lot of summer sales. So if you're going to buy a game, check it out on all the stores. Oh, it's Humble that's giving away Killing Floor for free. I'm very sorry, I didn't write this down. It's the original Killing Floor is free on the Humble store. And they are having a sale of up to 8% off at the moment.
Destiny
on
2,
FPSs.
which has absolutely no savings.
Well, they're just telling you can pre-order the game, which
Don't
I wouldn't
pre-order
recommend
games.
pre-ordering.
Wait for the reviews.
Anyway, moving quickly on. Steam Greenlight is closed down. I wrote this a long time ago, about a month ago, but Tony said E3's coming up. Ditch all the news.
And then I died, and you had to attend that funeral. It was really awkward.
Yeah, we did it on podcast.
So Steam Direct is actually available now. It's been available for about 10 days now. So you can submit your games to Direct. And the way I understand it is that they've kind of changed around the system now. I think someone made a graph of how it works now. So Steam Greenlight used to be pay $100, submit games on Greenlight, scrutinize it, yes or no vote. Valve employees greenlight it, you fill out tax ID and bank info, and then the dev can release their game. The way the Steam Direct works now is that you do all the dev filling, tax, the ID and the bank info first. You pay $100 to get it on. The dev sends the game to Steam. Now Valve actually, a Valve employee installs the game, checks it, scans it for viruses.
Make sure it's not a virus. Good going, Steam.
The game then goes on to Game is on Steam as coming soon. It gets scrutinized. And then the game is released if there's no reports for it. If people say this is a fake game.
Okay.
But the thing is, it shouldn't be a problem anymore, because we talked about how trading cards don't get added to a game until it's sold a certain amount of
that's useful.
volume anyway. We talked about this the other week.
Does that mean that can't be one of your favourite tags on Steam anymore?
What?
Has trading cards.
No, you can have them at some
I'll just
point.
quickly go through this for Daniel and anyone who wasn't here the other week.
Not that they can't, watch the previous.
So they added They added transparency for Steam support update. So they now show a graph of how many support requests are getting submitted every day, and how many are getting filled, and how many haven't been filled. So they're trying to be transparent about it by showing you statistics.
We're transparent about everything.
Steam gifting changes have came through. There's no more gifts in inventory. You only send straight to a friend. And if you decline a gift, instead of going into your inventory, it just gets refunded.
So does that mean that if I bought a 4-pack, does the inventory still exist?
So the next thing is, Steam's is like getting rid of 4-packs now. That no new games can apply for 4-packs anymore. They don't want to sell 4-packs.
That's a shame.
And I said that was a shame.
I mean, like Castle Crashers and stuff like that.
I still think there should be like a buy multiple bonus.
So any game on Steam that's had 4-pack or 2-packs before you can still buy it. But they seem to not want to be doing that business.
That's really anymore. Bad. Like stuff
like
like golf
really
with
bad.
your friends, for example. If you
but
had a 2-pack or a 4-pack, no, because the point was they gave you a discount. For
I know.
doing that.
My point was, why can't they just make it when you buy for multiple? They give you a
You can't get a 4-pack or a 2-pack
again,
for golf
at the
with
moment,
your friends.
because it's a Steam sale, it is only £3.35. So as long as they still cap, the thing is, it would have been up to the developers, I guess, as to what price they set on those to a degree, anyway. So
yeah, that was just a quick catch up for if you don't know about the Steam updates and the for Daniel as well. But Steam VR 2.0 tracking has been announced, as well as the schematics for the Knuckles controllers, and it's not actually the biggest thing is that you can't actually use it with the old Vive
I'm
system.
shit out of luck.
Get the new one.
Yeah. So based on the new Lighthouse tracking, the old 1.0 can be used with the old Vive system, but there's a new ASIC TS4321, whatever that means, is the only one that can be used with the new Steam VR Tracking 2.0. So if you have a Vive, you're not going to be able to use the Steam Tracking 2.0. So they're going to release this other system that's going to be able to do that.
Then maybe they'll get the devs will have to build stuff in, I guess, that say, do you want to target? It's like, this is going to be too nerdy. It's going to be like .NET. If you know .NET, like you ever have to install .NET 3.5 stuff or .NET 4, be similar to that, where you have to target your application and say this supports only tracking 2.0.
Could you not?
This tracks 1 and 2.0?
Yeah, you
some
can
will
do
have
both.
features and some will be deprecated.
I want to use this one.
Yeah, but then I guess you're saying,
you have to kind of have like 1.5 games.
You have to dev for the situations where you can't use those 2.0 features, whatever they are.
So now, with every new HTC Vive, Star Trek Bridge Crew is shipping with the Vive units. If you buy it now,
can you buy the Vive now? and have that 2.0 stuff, or is that not out yet?
No, that's not yet.
I don't think it's.
This is still in early phases. So now, originally Star Trek Bridge Crew was going to be an Oculus exclusive, an Oculus Touch exclusive. But I think it's coming out on the Vive now.
I can't remember what it was. I'm not sure. Was it E3?
E3 they announced it
E3 last night. You watched Geordie and 7 of 9
that stupid. Do you remember the stupid bird game where you had Palmer sat down just tilting his head and no one had any idea what was going on?
Why do you need this be in VR?
So I remember seeing the Star Trek stuff and I was like, non-Oculus exclusive, exclusive. They get to them, they're like, an Oculus Rift exclusive, and you're like, oh, because I'm sure Dad would like to use the Vive, for example, like to be on the bridge. That would be awesome.
It's like a legit game.
It's the J.J. Abrams universe Star Wars.
It doesn't actually
Star Trek. Okay. Star Wars.
Anyway,
I watched No Key Player. It's fantastic.
So speaking of Steam VR, the Steam Knuckles dev kit have shown off how they work. Apparently, there's going to be 5-finger tracking from what they've shown.
That's actually really cool.
Is that some kind of tracking that steals your wallet at the same time?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what the fifth one's for. Well, to be fair, yesterday we had problems trying to give Gabe our money. So.
When does Sonic come into this? When do we get the Sonic?
Sonic? What?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the Knuckles controller.
Oh, okay. Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
2D, 3DS. XL.
So just to clarify, you want to rename the old controller to Sonic and make the next
what
variation.
What the fuck is a Sonic?
What the fuck is that?
So yeah, that's interesting. There's schematics up if you just type in Knuckles
Quick Start
dev kit. Quick Start. Okay. Anyway, next piece of news: the PlayStation VR has sold 1 million units. It is the most successful VR. Platform at the moment. It's the most successful VR headset out there.
My friend has a PSVR. He says that he really enjoys it. He mostly uses it for racing.
To be fair, it's quite easy though, isn't it? Because it's like, oh, you know it can run on what you've got.
Like, some dev has specifically made this game and paid all the publishing fees to make the CD.
If you are a VR dev, you might want to look into making sure your game's compatible with PSVR because it seems like the best platform.
Yeah,
most people are on it.
A while ago, I talked about Valve's actually giving devs funding for making VR games, and they said they didn't have to be locked to one platform either. They were just giving money out to VR devs, and then after they sold a certain amount of units of it, they could pay them back that money. So they're really trying to push VR, and in the talks they had with Valve News Network and others, they said they don't care if the Vive fails. They just want to push VR forward. I think it's quite admirable. I think this is the final VR thing. Vince Gilligan, creator of Breaking Bad, he is working on a non-game VR project for Sony. So he's working on some sort of experience film in VR for Sony.
Which comes back to what we were saying earlier about Netflix doing.
Yeah, so me and Daniel off podcast, we're talking about how Netflix now has choose your own adventure style. Sort of, I think it's Puss in Boots is the one that is up at the moment. That's kind of it's kind of at kids at the moment, where you choose how Puss in Boots goes through his adventure, and you use your controller to select like an A or a B, and that's the way Puss in Boots goes, which is kind of interesting because
it's basically like you imagine Heavy Rain. How I
love David
The shower
Cage
level
games.
was too difficult for Joe.
Yeah,
you couldn't get past it.
But I know you couldn't get past it.
I read something on Twitter. It was like you can tell how old someone is by asking them which David Cage game was the first one to disappoint them.
What other ones have you done?
Fahrenheit?
Indigo Prophecy.
Or Fahrenheit.
What was the other game? A Tale of Two Souls.
Yeah, so it goes Indigo Prophecy, Fahrenheit, then it goes Heavy Rain, then it's Tale of Two Souls, and then it's going to be this new one.
David Cage games.
Fantastic.
Beyond Two Souls, Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain. Detroit Become Human is the new one.
Beyond
so there'll be a new
Souls,
generation of people disappointed by David Cage games.
That's cool. He's also balding a little bit like our best man,
Peter Molyneux.
He's almost
like... He is a Peter Molyneux, but with an accent.
But they've had an accident in the lab.
Have you heard how he sounds though?
No, that's true. I haven't.
He has like
He's French.
Yeah. He's a French Peter Molyneux. Like Peter Molyneux is like really British, and then he's like really French.
I mean, that clickbait article is making me feel like he's even more like Peter Molyneux. David Cage wants you to believe his games have no meaning.
Wow.
What if you played a game where the game played you?
And there was no meaning.
And there were no roads.
David Cage and Peter are kind of similar in their scope.
Yeah. But David Cage likes movies too much. It's his problem.
What were you saying, Daniel? Sorry.
How did we... Oh, yeah, so the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess if you had a Heavy Rain kind of
game,
Netflix, right?
Heavy Rain Netflix
series.
Oh.
But
okay.
you still had those kind of quick time events where...
Will it turn out the person you're controlling is actually the killer? Spoiler alert.
Something like that, for example. That would be pretty interesting. So I think the problem would be that obviously with a video game you can do a lot of stuff really quite quickly because you've created assets, you put them in a map, you do that kind of stuff. It's like, cool. Whereas you'd have to film each one of those individual scenes, and I guess you might end up becoming a bit...
So it's like FMV decisions.
You might end up becoming a little bit Mass Effect-y, where you're like, cool, I've done this, and you can do that. It's like, here's the final scene, everyone. It's the same regardless of what you pick.
Yeah, it's like the Telltale effect, where choices don't matter.
Yeah.
Well, you feel like choices matter until the end. You realise
the
curtain
illusion.
is pulled.
Yeah.
It's pulled away. It's all an illusion.
The rug is
don't matter.
firmly pulled from underneath you.
Yeah.
So Valve loses its fourth writer in 2 years. Jay Pinkerton left the company. He's finally left as one of the original writers of Valve. All of like the original Half-Life writers are pretty much
3,
they're gone from Valve now.
Confirmed. Half-Life 3 cancelled.
My favourite thing is the picture on this. Yeah. It's by one of my favourite writers on Rock Paper Shotgun, John Walker. And the picture is very close to his face. And I was looking at the tags, and one of the tags is staring eyes. Anyway, so Origin updates. If you don't know, Origin has got updates. So one of the main features is download speed management.
Thank God.
An FPS counter similar to the one you have on Steam. Do you know you can put an FPS counter on Steam? I use that all the time because it helps me keep track of my FPS and
it's good,
I don't see it.
It's good for like changing settings and things.
And
well.
cross-game party invites as well. Those are some of the main features of the new Origin update, which is nice to see. I like Origin.
Origin is actually really good.
It's way better than Uplay. Fuck Uplay.
Uplay is actually really shit.
Vanquish has put out... originally there was a beta patch. I think there's like a... Did you know... You've played Vanquish, right? I've seen you playing Vanquish.
Have I?
Do you remember that?
It's like third person, really quick, sliding across the floor shooting.
If I show you Vanquish, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I think I saw Gemel playing that game." Yeah, I've definitely seen you playing this when you had like a.
It's like a really quick, fast-paced shooter.
No, I've never. I've played. This is like Tribes Ascent.
No.
I've not played this game.
No,
100% confirmed. Have not played this game.
No, but I think when like because I remember you being in like the lounge in sleeping bags with like Gemel and stuff like that, and you were like because he was showing you a bunch of games on the Xbox, like he was showing you a Yu-Gi-Oh game, and then he showed you like Vanquish, where you're just running around and shooting people. Maybe I just remember it and you don't.
Yeah, that sounds.
You were asleep.
I was probably asleep.
Anyway,
with
but
the eyes painted
this
on the
is.
eyelid.
Do you know? What are they called? The hack and slash people. What are they called?
Well, people made the game.
Yeah.
Platinum
Games. You know Platinum Games? This is like one of their like the most requested Platinum games.
It is actually so good.
And Bayonetta. You know Bayonetta?
Yeah.
That's a Platinum game. They're now on Steam.
I bought them
on
both.
PC.
That suddenly came out of nowhere, didn't it, Bayonetta?
Yeah.
It's like, here is
Because
Bayonetta,
Sega owned it. They were like the publishers.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we want to push more titles onto PC and stuff. And just out of nowhere, you can now play Vanquish and Bayonetta in 1080p, 60 FPS, and 4K as well.
That's cool.
And the weird thing that happened with these was that with Vanquish having higher frame rate, originally it was like around 30 or somewhere around there. Maybe not even 30 when it came out. But they found that invincibility frames and were actually tied to your FPS. So the game was harder when you were playing on a higher FPS because you had less invincibility frames when you got shot. So yeah, that's what happened with Vanquish, and they released a beta patch which was trying to fix this, because you could go as high as 144 frames per second and the game would be substantially harder than it was on its console counterparts.
I remember reading a post on Reddit about this before, where basically there are loads of games that are like this, where if you increase the FPS, you essentially are increasing the game's speed. And I think it was actually a cookie clicker thing, where it's like people who were that dedicated were like, cookie clicker, guys, I figured out a better way to do this. Increase your frame rate to 144. You get more frames, you can click more times in that, and you will get more cookies. It's like, well, the maths checks out, but still, this is quite sad.
Don't play cookie clicker.
Don't play cookie clicker, not even as a prank.
But it will bring upon...
Maybe if Amazon brought out a cookie clicker game, you got enough cookies in game, you could actually get they could send you a cookie.
A real cookie.
With a drone.
With a dash button. That's
Yes.
cookies on it.
This is the cookie Charles Styles, Mr. Diners. Release the drone.
Release the drone.
Anyway.
Why does he make that weird like noise when he like pushes the button to talk into a speaker? Like, it's not quite like that, but he has like an obvious pause.
Check out Ralph the Movie Maker's Charles Styles Mystery Diners if you haven't.
Charles Styles Mystery Diners.
That's a fantastic video. I think it just hit 1 million views recently as well.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway.
A couple of weeks ago.
Next piece of news, Bayonetta 3 apparently is in discussion. They say it's not off the table in I think it was an IGN article with Platinum.
Maybe that was after the success of
yeah.
Bayonetta appearing on PC.
Yeah, I think loads of people bought it. It was like top 10 for a while.
It was
Easily.
an IGN article with Platinum Games themselves. So apparently Bayonetta 3 is in discussion. We saw some more gameplay of Sonic Mania with an August 15th release date, it says. And we saw the character creation screen.
It's Knuckles.
No,
got his
for
knuckle
not for
controller.
Sonic Mania, sorry. What's the other one called? The bad one? Or... probably going to be
Sonic
bad.
Heroes?
No!
Yeah,
Sonic Heroes is
there's like the
fantastic.
fan-made
Sonic
game.
Forces.
That's it, yeah.
So Sonic 4, they're also releasing Sonic Forces in the new one, where they're releasing, it's going to be part 3D platformer, part
Oh, I've seen this, yeah. So
2.5D,
it's-
similar to Sonic Generations.
Part you can make your own furry.
Yeah, so they added a character creation.
Part DeviantArt post, which
yeah.
you really shouldn't have clicked on.
There's a Jim Sterling video on this. It's like, what were they thinking?
You must know, Sega, what's going to happen.
I would like to think there's like 3 options. Either they don't know, they're like that, they don't know anything about the world. They do know it, they want to make money out of it. Or they know it and they don't care.
But Sonic Mania is going to be made by the people who ported the old Sonics to mobile, and the people who've been emulating Sonic games for ages.
Oh, right.
So this is really
That's cool.
hyped.
I like the fact that they actually were like, these guys are doing a really good job, let's just hire them instead. Cool. Good plan.
This
So I can get the name quickly. What's it called? Taxman and Stealth are the people. There's a Super Bunny Hop video if you're really interested in this sort of thing. Okay, next. Ed McMillan, someone I've talked about on this podcast before. Creator of Super Meat Boy, Binding of Isaac. I'm a big fan of his games. He's making a brand new platforming game. The End is Nigh. It looks like kind of a spiritual successor to Super Meat Boy, ? And it's coming out July 12th. He literally announced this not that long ago, and he's like, it's coming out July 12th. I haven't told anyone about anything about this.
Is it probably built in XNA? I don't know it's built in, because I think the old one was built in XNA.
I don't know.
Who cares?
But it looks like it is going to
It has
be...
Ghastly on the front, top thing I've ever seen. So, like, the screenshot of the game.
It's instead of like sliding on walls, you grab onto them, sort of thing.
Okay,
No,
so
this isn't
gravity-
it. This is like that was just like I think those are going to be like the retro levels.
That's cool.
There have been like some more gameplay shown, but it looks very Super Meat Boy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of like, because Ed McMillan's an artist, so he
Yeah.
draws all these games, like Isaac and Super Meat Boy. So you get
that's
that
cool.
kind of thing. Quite interested to play that one. Moving on, Yooka Laylee. You remember this coming out?
Goodbye, John Tron.
Came out with a lot of mixed
he got out of
reviews.
that sinking boat.
They've now made the green and purple patch, which is massive apparently. You can now skip cutscenes. It's brand new pause menu music. You can now turn down the gibberish voices. There's a new option for shorter gibberish voice sound effect. You go wah 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 wah, that sort of thing.
See,
You know, like
when
the
you-
old Banjo-Kazooie games and that sort
when
of
you
stuff.
say this is massive, I don't consider this like there's a long list of stuff, but they're
Yeah.
all kind of small.
They're adding like new improvements to speech and music and new optional camera mode with minimal assist. So the camera improvements are quite big.
Yeah,
they've made design tweaks to all the arcade games because people were complaining they weren't fun at all, and you needed to do them to get pages to complete the game, which is quite big. But yeah, they were just improving performance, audio. They improved the Rampo boss fight. Did I show you like the giant bomb Rampo fight where it was really hard to figure out what the hell to do and stuff like that? There's now a health UI tweak because it used to go invisible while you were playing like through the game. But now it becomes visible when you're like on low health. There's a lot of like small changes to kind of update to like a 2017 3D platform rather than just resting on their laurels of like the original rare platformers that they made in the past.
There's an argument for not doing that though.
Well, that's what they did, and people complain.
I mean, like specifically the health thing. Do you not remember when your Pokemon will be low on health and the game just like over and over again? Yeah. That always drove me nuts.
I thought
this is different, but still.
Yeah, no game ever needs it when you get to low health where you can't see anything.
Yeah.
You can only hear one thing. Or the image is blurry and you still can't see anything.
I liked it. I thought it added tension. We were like dun 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 dun.
No, it adds tension at the start. And then you're mentally like, oh, I'm going to deal with it. And it just gets annoying.
No.
Until the mentally point you're like, okay, I know how to deal with that.
Tangerine off. I was playing Pokemon in Roblox the other day.
No,
it's insane. They fully coded Pokemon. It's called Pokemon Brown Brick or something.
Bronze Brick.
Bronze Brick.
I think that's what it is.
And it's the weirdest thing. You run around like this this Roblox world, then you go into like 2D Pokemon battles. I said I can find an image of it. It's the weirdest thing. Like it looks like this.
It's 2D Pokemon.
Look up
3D.
Pokemon Bronze Brick or
Roblox. I don't even know what Roblox is.
You don't know what Roblox is?
It's some Minecraft before Minecraft.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But yeah. It's sort of.
It's been around since
on the.
It's been around since 2006. It's older than Minecraft.
Oh,
by a long shot.
It looks weird, and I'm scared and confused.
I don't like that.
You've probably never heard of it because it's for young kids playing Roblox.
All right, okay.
No, shit. That's why I haven't heard of it.
It kind of looks like this.
A bit Lego. You need to keep that image so Tony can put it in the podcast.
Tony doesn't edit the podcast.
No, I
do.
have to force Joe to do it now because my Camtasia is dead.
Oh.
But yeah, it's very old now, and I think Donkey made a video on this playing it, and I was like,
he spent £15. It's fine.
Yeah, everything tries to get you to buy the in-game Roblox currency, basically. But yeah, he made it look really fun, and I was like, I kept being as a meme like, guys, we should play Roblox. And I was like, haha, I'm trolling. And I was like, wait, why don't I just actually play Roblox? And I did have some fun on it. There's like really jail mods.
What's going on here?
I don't get
Can
the
you do...
there's like hundreds of servers, so you can play whatever the hell.
Can I do Nazi RP? Because apparently
there's like Roblox Kart. That's just like Mario Kart.
That's what Donkey plays.
Somebody's just gone. The race starts in 1. He's off. He's gone.
I'd recommend checking out Donkey's Roblox video called Roblox if you are interested in looking at Roblox. Like, I'd say it's a pretty good representation of what it is.
Better than Second Life 2. Second Life 2?
Tangerining back.
No, we don't need to tangerine.
Yeah, we're talking about Yooka Laylee. So yeah, that's interesting. Joe loves demos. There's a new demo for Styx Shard of Darkness. The new Styx game. I have been playing through the original recently. I was actually playing the other day. I didn't talk about what we've been playing because I was trying to get through it quickly. But yeah, I have been playing the original Styx game. It's like where you play like as a stealth goblin and you have to assassinate people.
I honestly think it was you play as a stick. I was expecting you to say
his name is Styx, I think.
It's like a cool art style.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's well animated too. That's neat. I'll check that out.
What was that rat game I saw that I saw on my wish list? And I instantly was like, oh yeah, you've sold it to me already. I haven't even watched the trailer, but I want to play this now.
It's not the Quake style one, is it?
No, it's like action RPG. Yeah. Hang on.
Is it in your wish list?
Oh, quick, search for rats.
Is it Ghost of
the Tail?
Yeah, because you play as... It's an action RPG where you play as a mouse minstrel thrown into a perilous adventure. Through stealth and cunning, you're able to explore the secrets of a dwindling heights. And I'll show you the trailer, because I heard that and I was like, I'm sold.
That's what sold you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll look up your game, Rats, or whatever it was called.
Rats,
whatever it was called.
Bad Rats.
No, Bad Rats is a terrible game. It's always on Steam sale for like £1.
But this does look really cool, actually.
That looks really. That's almost Dark Descent-y.
But you play as this little rat bard that's on like an action RPG adventure.
Oh, it's cool.
And I almost was like... And it has stealth elements in it as well, which I thought was really cool.
Ah.
It's hiding from other rats. It does look really good though. I would suggest checking it out on Steam.
Dude does have a guitar on his back though, so I feel like...
Should we do Joe's wishlist this week?
Yeah.
Will I just talk about Ghost of a Tale?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll come back to this then.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I was just going to say, I love it when demos put on Steam. I was watching a video recently actually by Extra Credit where they were saying companies are actually desensitivized to put demos of their games on...
disincentivized.
Disincentivized to put demos of their games on platforms because it can show like bugs and that sort of stuff. Like I know
publishers really don't like
Bethesda's not putting out any demos for PC at least. I mean, they made a demo for Prey.
Can I just say though, like from all my gaming life, like I have bought a game. The fastest time I've ever bought a game is if there's been a demo.
Yeah, that's true.
I
don't understand. If you have faith in your game and it is not buggy and it shouldn't be, put a demo out.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
So,
and no, the Steam a refund is not a substitute for it.
So I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I was going through my queue and I got recommended Book of Demons, and I almost went past it and completely ignored the game. But I read a review and someone said you can't see how you play this game from the trailers because it doesn't look good watching somebody else play it. It has a demo. Try it and trust me, it'll be good. And I downloaded the demo, and based off the strength of the demo, I ended up buying it eventually just because of the demo, and that sold it to me. So I think demos in games is really important. So I just wanted to highlight that Styx Shards of Darkness, the sequel to the original Styx, I think it's Master of Shadows, which I've been playing through, and is quite a good game if you like fantasy stealth games, is good. So if you put out a demo, I'll be like, yeah, good. Hitman Episode 1 just put out a demo as well. What are they called? Is it Eidos?
Eidos Interactive.
Eidos Interactive, that's one.
Interactive.
It's an E at the beginning of Eidos. EIO. Yeah.
Eidos Interactive. They now own the sole rights to Hitman.
Yeah, because they were being sold by Square Enix and the rights.
No, maybe it's IO Interactive we're thinking of. Is it?
Yeah, there you go.
IO Interactive, not Eidos.
Yeah.
They sound similar, but they're different companies.
They sound similar-ish.
No, they start similar.
So now they got the sole rights from Squeenix.
They bought themselves
Hitman.
and the rights.
So they're now an independent developer going forwards, and to celebrate, they made the first episode of Hitman free. They removed de novo anti-tamper, and they are now on sale as well. So if you want to pick up the really confusing scheme of episodic Hitman, you can just buy the whole season 1 from
That's what I do.
Steam
Would
now
recommend.
on sale, 66% off. I think it's around £15.
That's cool.
And it's season 1. They might make a season 2. I mean, they're an independent developer now, so they definitely can do that.
They might just make a new game and just release it like a normal game.
I'll just talk about this quickly. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 is coming out. I've played the first one. They ported all the original Mega Man games to PC. We played them on the Game Boy. It's the digital Eclipse, the dev of the first Legacy Collection and Disney Afternoon, which was a good port to the PC. I'm not involved in this port after making the fantastic ports that what they did originally make. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I'm just going to quickly fire through these because I think we're running out of time. The first RuneScape expansion has come out, and it had a free-to-play weekend where you got membership features just by playing on that weekend. So I wanted to ask the question, will this get new players to play RuneScape?
No.
I feel like it won't. But they have released a new...
they tried making new games.
Menaphos the Golden City is the first expansion they released. So I think this is this RuneScape 3? Because there's old school RuneScape, which is like RuneScape 2007.
Which they brought back.
Like RuneScape, I will give me gold and I will log in as a girl and I will follow you around and be your
gold for
girlfriend.
GF.
Yeah, exactly.
But you look at World of Warcraft and they're like suing legacy servers, and RuneScape's just embraced legacy servers and they run their own legacy servers. So that you can kind of see this huge kind of respect from Jagex and kind of a huge animosity from Blizzard.
Based in Cambridge.
Yeah, Jagex is actually based in Cambridge. There's someone with the same name as our dad who works there as like a web developer or something. So that's kind of weird because he also works in Cambridge.
Simon Brace.
Don't leak his name on the podcast.
International man of mystery.
Anyway, Magic the Gathering, the card game, is announced they're making an MMO.
You called it a leak, like leaking his name. It's just like, well, we're not ready to release Dad's name on the internet yet.
Yeah, you signed the NDA.
Shit.
Some people don't want their name public on the internet. That's
Well, you've just told them they could have figured it out. All they had to look at is, who is this
No,
person
don't give
doing
them
the
more
podcast?
information.
Who is this person who's a web developer?
Dad's gonna get DDoS.
You're just going to have to beep it out. I'm going to make it really hard a minute. I'm just going to start spamming.
They're going to
his name.
social engineer Dad and hack him with this information now.
Brilliant.
Anyway, Perfect World and Cryptic Studios are making a Magic the Gathering MMO together. So yeah, it's like one of the oldest card games out there.
Can I play Magic in this MMO like Gwent?
Maybe they'll make another.
That might be a thing.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I actually hope they did do that because that's actually a good idea. Like even if it's just like a small like card set, it's just like getting people into it.
So Magic the Gathering
this little game
has been
fine.
Magic the Gathering's been going since 1993. So that's what
Before I was
24
born.
years.
24 years.
As I'm 25 and was born in 1992.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
yeah, it's almost older than Daniel.
It will never be older than me due to the way that the logical progression of time
Unless
works.
That's not
unless
actually
you
true.
die.
No, that's not actually true.
Is it?
No, if you go faster than the speed of light, you'll be.
Oh yeah, if you went
not
to
faster, like again approaching the speed of light.
Would I also be dead?
If the
No, you wouldn't be
if the
dead.
Magic the Gathering MMO went to the event horizon of a black
that's
hole.
true. Apart
Yeah,
from
it'd be older than.
spaghettification.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, but it would also have to survive spaghettification and
Well,
go
no,
through a
you
black hole.
don't need to go like into it. You just need to be close to it, like
Yeah.
the absolutely massive amount of.
But
force there.
it would get torn apart, basically.
Yeah, you go to a big one.
In this podcast, science happens.
Go to the one at the centre of the galaxy. There will be less forces for spaghettification.
Final
basically.
piece of news before Daniel finally gets to talk about his board game. Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, the Tripwire game. I read on Kotaku that they removed a single tree from a game just for one guy in the forums, which I thought was kind of funny. We have seen this before because we've seen Tracer and That Pose.
Oh, yeah.
Where one person on the forums complained about a Tracer
And they were
victory
like, "That's
pose,
gone
and they
forever."
went, "We are Blizzard.
Yeah,
we want
don't
to remove
condone
that."
this. Hold on a sec. I'll just fix this. Rotate tracer 45 degrees. Fixed. Fixed. Not an issue anymore.
But basically, what Guy was saying on a map was one of the landing zones. There was a tree that kind of blocked your exit as you were trying to get out of it. And they went, "Yeah, that is kind of annoying. Let's remove that." So they removed
Fuck
it.
that tree.
Right.
It's
Board
gone forever.
game selling to Tony, King of New York, previously called King of Tokyo.
Not previously called. Different game.
Different game. Daniel got confused, did he?
Yeah, so if you look up King of Tokyo as well at the same time, right, you'll find... is it a different game? I can't even remember. So,
Because you definitely told me King of Tokyo.
yeah, because I think... And then put in board game. There you go. So there's King of Tokyo, and the one I've got is King of New York, and they are basically the same game.
I think Tokyo looks better. I haven't seen New York yet.
In slightly different ways. So, Tony, let me ask you this. Have you ever wanted to be a giant fish in a goldfish ball called Captain Fish in the
They
middle
do look
of
very
New York,
similar.
I think they're done by the same artist. Smashing your way through various buildings.
It reminds me of Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction.
How about a giant dinosaur with a tiny cowboy hat on and a gun called Sheriff?
Not feeling that one.
What
but...
about an evil robot that just stomps on things? Or Mantis, who's got chainsaws for arms?
Yeah.
So, the objective of the game of either King of New York or King of Tokyo, because I believe they work in the exact same way, is to become the King of New York.
When you say become the king,
Exactly.
like, I assume
They
New York doesn't have a monarchy system.
I'm on
as far as
Board
I
Game
know.
Geek, and they're designed by the same guy.
Yep. So,
different artists though.
okay. So, simple thing is
not
co-op.
One of the artists is the same. There's quite a few artists who worked on it.
So not a co-op game. It is
competitive
against each other.
Okay.
And the way it works is you have a map in front of you, and obviously it's a certain area of Japan if it's King of Tokyo, or a certain area of Tokyo.
Just do King of New York for now.
So King of New York has Manhattan, it has the Bronx, it has Brooklyn, it has Queens.
Oh, it has Brooklyn.
Yeah, so it's got little areas around that are dotted around on the board. And in that, every single area will have 3 stacks of 3 buildings.
Okay.
And you'll interact with those in a certain way. I'll explain in a moment. And there will also be other monsters who are the other players in the game. And that's kind of how the game setup kind of starts. So your objective is to either get yourself to 20 victory points, and you get a little card which has got 2 wheels on it.
Right.
So kind of like counters that you see for a D20 sort of thing, except you kind of rotate them. And as you rotate through, it shows you what life you've got or what victory points you've got.
Could you turn to fidget spinners?
You could try, but you'd probably take your eye out,
Okay.
Tony. So, or alternatively, if you don't get to 20 victory points first, you could just destroy the other monsters.
Right, okay.
So,
last man standing or first to
20 victory points.
Okay.
So you start with 0 victory points and 10 life.
Right.
And what happens on your turn is you first of all roll 6 dice, and these dice have a varying number of symbols on them. And depending on those symbols, depends what is going to happen on your turn. So there is one on there which is a claw symbol, which allows you to attack.
Right.
There is one on there which is a heart symbol, that lets you heal. There is one on there which is a star symbol, that potentially gives you victory points, but it depends on another set of circumstances I will explain in a moment. There is an ouch symbol, which causes you to take damage.
Right.
And there is an energy symbol, which allows you to get currency. Right.
There's money in the game?
Yeah. And the last one is the building destruction token.
Okay.
This all sounds very complicated, but it's really not, because what they do is pretty easy.
So I can destroy buildings.
Yep.
What's the point of destroying buildings?
So first one is the building. So remember I said there are 3 stacks of 3 buildings in each area. So if you're stood in an area and you rolled some building destruction tokens, what that allows you to do is each building will have a certain type of strength, and it will also have on it the strength. So to have the strength it takes to destroy the building, and the reward you get for doing that. So some might have a reward of 3 victory points for doing it. Some might have a reward like a hospital. If you destroy that, will heal you for 3. Some
counterintuitive. Destroy a hospital, it heals you, but sure,
you're a monster. You've eaten all these people. You feel very full. And some may be a power plant, and they'll give you energy, which you can use to buy things. So the way that works...
that's not how the world works, but yes, okay.
If you're a giant monster, Tony, that's the way the world works.
You just destroy a reactor, and you get money. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So what happens when you destroy these little tokens is you flip them over. If you flip them over, you'll then discover that on the opposite side is a unit, and that will be something that attacks you. So you can still destroy those, and again you get bonuses from them. But the more units that there are in an area, potentially the more dangerous it is for you to be in that area.
Yeah.
So how do those attack you? Well, those attack you if you roll ouch tokens.
That's what it takes the damage.
Yep.
Okay.
The energy is rolled from the little lightning bolts, and they're kind of like little green cubes. Those allow you to buy cards that will either be... they come in 2 varieties, which are either use and immediately discard, so like a one-shot of something, or alternatively, they'll be use and keep, so they'll constantly enhance your monster, so some might give you other dice to roll. There is the heal one, so if you've taken damage somehow, and again I'll come on to how that happens in a minute, you can heal your monster. And there is the claw token, which allows you to attack other monsters who are in New York.
Okay.
So, the way that works is you roll the 6 dice. You look at what you've rolled, and you can then re-roll any of the combinations of those dice up to twice more. So you get 3 dice rolls in total. So you might see that you rolled 3 skull and crossbones. You're like, that's going to be a lot of damage. I don't want to do that. I'll re-roll those. And then you re-roll those again, and you've kept your 3 hearts that you had. You're like, now I get a bit of energy, and I've got a claw mark. That sounds quite good. So I'm going to keep that. And once that happens, You then resolve the dice, so you do them in any order you choose. So you say, right, I'm going to heal first, then I'm going to destroy this unit, then I'm going to destroy this building, etc.
So there's strategic, like...
Yeah, it does make a difference. It does make a difference in the order in which you do it.
Yeah.
So, you know how to now basically roll the dice and what they mean, but the stars one doesn't make much sense to you at the moment, right?
No.
So, the star one doesn't affect anybody until someone rolls 3 stars in one roll.
Okay.
When they roll 3 stars, they get the superstar card.
Right.
As long as they hold the superstar card, anytime they roll stars from then on, they will just get victory points inherently from rolling them.
Yeah.
They also get a set of victory points for having rolled 3 stars to start with as well. So, if you've got the superstar card, they mean something to you, otherwise they're kind of dead cards.
Yeah, okay.
Similarly, say Longest Road in Settlers of Catan, if someone else rolls the 3 stars, they take that from you. Then they are the ones which can roll stars, and they can get victory points in that way. So it's kind of a bit of...
Is it like a fame thing? Like it's like the spotlight's on them?
Exactly. That's the whole point. They're called celebrity.
Spotlight. Watch it on the Inbetween podcast YouTube channel.
They're called celebrity tokens. So the monster that's doing the best, doing the most damage or whatever...
He's got the good publicity
he gets more victory points.
Yeah.
There's also another card where rolling ouch tokens, things that hurt you from the units in the area, always seems bad. But if you ever roll 3 ouch tokens at once, you immediately, though you will take a lot of damage, the Statue of Liberty will come to life, team up with you naturally, and you will immediately get a bonus plus 3 victory points cards.
Yeah, as we know, the Statue of Liberty is an angel, so of course it comes to life and helps you.
But again, that is similar to the one in that it can be stolen. So if someone else rolls that, then you lose those 3 victory points that you had.
Well, those are the only 2 things. If you roll 3, you get something. Though.
So those 2 are the only ones that do that. So the turns of the phasing of the turns goes this. So you roll your dice.
Yeah.
You resolve your dice. That involves stomping buildings, etc. Then you move, and this is where things become slightly more complicated. So you'll be in a specific area around the map. Now, all the areas are basically the same in that they've got kind of randomized stacks of these tiles in them. But if there is no monster in Manhattan, which is the main area, you must move to the lower part of Manhattan.
Okay.
Now, moving into Manhattan immediately gives you a victory point.
Right.
That's good.
Being in Manhattan at the beginning of a turn also gives you benefits. So, if I start my turn and I'm in Manhattan, then I get an extra victory point and extra energy.
Okay.
So that's very useful to me. And then you resolve your turn like you would normally. And if you end at your turn you haven't left Manhattan, and I shall explain again how that happens in a moment, you can move up to mid-Manhattan. And then the benefits to that are slightly more. So you get 2 victory points and 1 energy. And then if you get to the other end of your turn, then you move up to upper Manhattan, where you get 2 victory points and 2 energy.
Right.
And it goes on like this. Now, obviously, there have to be some downsides to being Manhattan because that's awesome otherwise. So there are 2 main ones. The first one is that, remember the claw marks I explained before?
Yeah.
That's how you attack things. If you are not in Manhattan and you roll claw marks, you are automatically attacking the monster that is in Manhattan.
Right.
So if you're sat in Manhattan, you are the target of every person around the table.
Yeah.
However, if you are in Manhattan, you are attacking and cleaving everybody else around you. So there's a benefit there. But whilst you are in Manhattan, you cannot heal. So those hearts that you roll are completely useless.
There's no hospitals in Manhattan.
There are some hospitals.
So that's the only way to
use
heal.
Those to
right.
heal.
Okay.
But what can happen and what tends to happen is you suddenly take a whole ton of damage. You're like, I'm not staying here anymore, and you've got to get out.
Yeah.
The way that works is, if at any point during your turn while you're in Manhattan, or someone else's turn while you're in Manhattan, somebody attacks you, at the end of that turn, you then, as the player in Manhattan, get asked, do you want to stay in Manhattan? If you say no, you force the other player that attacked you to swap with you.
Right, okay.
You leave Manhattan, the other player goes into Manhattan, gets the bonus for being in Manhattan, and game goes on like that.
Right.
So it's about preserving your health whilst getting as many victory points as you can.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the few ways to win are you either eliminate all the other monsters, you get as many victory points as you can, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not.
So you're kind of like King Kong in Manhattan, kind of on the building, and everyone's like clawing at you.
But there's also Godzilla outside of New York, also looking in, going, I want to kill you.
Some of that.
That's kind of the flavour of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how that all works. The only other thing which really needs mentioning are the energy which you use to buy things. So you can have items that say, for example, let you grow an extra head or an extra arm. If you buy those and you keep them, you get extra dice to roll, so you have even more power to you.
Is this part of the purchase power cards?
Yeah, so whenever you get a power card, that's what you're using your energy to buy. So there's some in there that are kind of a bit like Overload, for example, in Hearthstone, where you're like, okay, it costs you 10 energy to buy this, but you then immediately get 13 energy and a victory point, and you can heal for 1, but then you can't use it until next turn or something like that sort of thing. So those are really useful cards, and they come in different flavours. And like, there's some cheap cards which seem kind of bad on the surface, and you read one, it's like, actually, what that lets me do is basically scrounge through the discard deck and buy things at a cheaper rate later on. So there are so many cards in the deck that I've not seen the same set of cards too many times.
So it changes, like the things you can do with them change up the game enough to make it different.
What it doesn't have, or at least I've not discovered it yet, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, which would be cool, would be if there were cards which were unique to your character. Yeah. And the reason why this is like interesting because you think, if that was the case, they'd just sit there. But what's interesting is with energy, if you just can't afford anything, but you've only got 2 cubes, at any time during your buy phase, which is the end phase that you get to, you can pay those 2, and those 3 all get discarded, and a new 3 are drawn. So you can stop other players from getting really good ones if you can't afford them by saying, no, nobody can have those, here are the new 3. Yeah. The downside of that is you don't know what's coming next, so something even better might turn up. And you can do that for as long as you have energy. So if you've got like 20 energy cubes, you're like, none of those look nice to me. Roll 2, see the next 3. They're still a bit rubbish. Roll 2, see another 3. No, that one looks good. Buy it, sort of thing. And that's King of New York.
Yeah, I haven't played this.
The fame of being a monster.
Just reading Boardgame Geek. So King of New York re-implements the rules of King of Tokyo, but this kind of fame thing you were talking about, that's the new feature, right? So it's got a weight complexity rating of 1.84 out of 5, lower being easier, higher being harder. So it's quite easy to pick up.
So can I just mention that as a decimal point out of 5 is a terrible system. Do not do that.
Also, in this, right, how many rules did I just read out? How many did you actually follow to start with? When you actually sit and play the game, it sounds horribly complicated on the face of things. When you sit down and play it, it's so easy. I took this on holiday when I went up to Shropshire with my girlfriend and her family recently, and they all took one look at the box, like, this looks cool. Then I got the dice out and everything, like, this looks weird. Then they played it once.
It's like not lots, but like a handful of rules, but all of them are like simple, but combined together to be kind of complex.
Apparently, the monsters from King of New York can be used in King of Tokyo and vice versa, but the power cards are specific to the game.
Yeah. So you need to buy both games and bring all the monsters into the Tokyo one to get them.
So I love the theme of this game. Like you're a Captain Fish with. There's a really cool art
I want
to
be Captain Fish.
Everybody always wants to be Captain Fish.
He's the coolest
one.
He
is the poster boy.
I don't know. I mean, Sheriff is pretty cool.
I don't like Sheriff. I'm not feeling him.
Is this Kong?
So you can play as King Kong.
Do you not want to be Kong?
Sorry?
That's just Kong for copyright reasons.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a picture of who you're talking about on Boardgame Geek. What's he called?
There you go.
King of New York.
There he is.
So is he like
he's like a dragon with a gun.
And a laser gun.
No, I don't resonate with that.
No, I'm not feeling that one either.
No, I want to be a giant praying mantis with chainsaws for arms.
That sounds cool as well, though. Yeah. What the robot one? What was that one?
He looks a bit like the robot from Lost in Space. I can't remember what his name is. I think his name is Rob. If you just look for,
can you search for Rob?
Searching again.
Robert.
Rob?
There he is.
Is it this guy?
There's Rob.
Oh, he's like a robot.
I like Rob.
There's the robot with clampy arms.
Yeah, I like Rob.
That's a good example of this. So you can see the fame kind of turn around. You
That
have
makes
to put
more
this picture
sense.
in now, and it's got like the health counter. The health counter actually can be overloaded to 11 and 12, for example. But that's only done by these power-up cards. So you can also see the superstar cards and the statue
There's
of
a
cards,
max
and the ouch
health.
ones, and the dice which you use.
Yeah.
So that is King of New York.
And kind of King of Tokyo without the fame mechanics.
Yes. So have I sold it to you, Tony?
Yeah, I want to play this. Like it says here, like
I'm
40-minute playtime average is like a.
Well,
person.
next
Wait,
time-
age 10 plus. Can't. No, you're not allowed to
I'm
play.
not old enough
Do
to
you?
fine.
So next time I come over, I'll actually remember to bring
What?
King of New York and we can play.
It says age 10 plus, then community 8 plus.
That's what the community
have raised
thinks.
it.
Oh,
so they
okay.
think that you can play at a younger age.
Fair enough.
Because it's not.
It says 2 to 6 player, and the community says 3 to 6,
Yes,
best
3
of
to 6.
4.
Don't play it
Oh.
with 2 players. Me and Emma tried to play this on our own. One of the reasons I actually bought it was because I try and look out for games where 2 people can play, because obviously Emma and I play it quite a lot. It just doesn't work. The first player to get into Manhattan just kind of sits there and tanks up damage and just very quickly gets too much fame to win. So, although it can work as a 2-player game, it doesn't work.
Yeah, the
frequently.
community on Board Game Geek says play 3 to 6 players.
Yep.
Preferably 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Board Game King of Tokyo. I love the theme of kind of monsters trying to destroy New York and Tokyo.
It's just the fact that Captain Fish has the Titanic tied to a
and
chain.
it seems it's not too complicated.
Well,
it's quite
that's
fun.
where it went.
You've sold it to me.
Yeah, I want to play this actually. Like, I want to play. I want to buy both just so I can have like all the monsters.
Did I select a Peter Molydeux tweet for this week? Let's just read out the tweet. No, is this the one that got deleted that I was talking about?
There's a fly there.
There's a fly on my screen. Let's just go to Peter Molydeux's Twitter and
That's
pick
going
up
to really
something.
ruin that. It's a nice spike there now. From
Good
you
job.
blowing on the fly.
Good job.
Imagine
Headphone
a game where
users rip.
imagine a game where you play as a couple watching interactive Netflix shows, but your choices also affect the real world within the game.
That's
Wow.
too powerful.
Too
Thanks
deep.
for that, Peter. Are you leaving now?
I'm leaving now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
think
gonna
I better
do-
leave right now.
All right,
before I
goodbye,
fall any
Daniel.
deeper. Think I better leave. Wait, no, copyright.
Yeah.
Don't-
Well, it's a parody. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Goodbye.
It's for educational purposes only.
Education.
All right.
for
Well,
purposes.
Daniel's gone, so we're just gonna finish. We're like literally about to finish the podcast. Do you want to do my wish list?
Yeah, let's
Do you want to look through my? Well, we've talked about
Well, let's
Ghost
go
of
for
a
the one
Tale.
we're going to actually Ghost of a Tale.
Ghost of a
Let's
Tale.
do
So
it
Ghost of a Tale is actually early access. It's £15 usually. It's £12 at the moment because it's on sale. It's early access adventure stealth indie game. What do you think of this? Is this okay
I
to be on
think
my
it's-
wish list?
Yeah, I think
I literally
it
put
looks
this
really
on
good.
yesterday
Yeah.
because I was doing the quest to look through my queue and get some like trading cards. Okay, you can pick a game. You can sort them however you want.
So you've added. Oh, yeah, I wanted to see like a Graveyard Keeper.
Yeah, so during E3, I was looking at the Devolver Digital pre-show,
Yeah.
and one of the games I saw, I think it's from publisher Tiny Build. Yeah, it's Tiny Build publisher, quite a good one of my favorite publishers.
Those are the people that go.
Lazy Bear Games.
Did they get
and
put
it's,
over by G2A?
it's kind of a resource management game where you have to manage a graveyard.
It does look really good.
But you can you have like a talking skull talking to you and stuff, and you can take brains out of bodies and give them to the skull and that sort of stuff.
I really like not zombies and things, but like undead stuff. I get
You have
drawn
to
into it.
like run a successful graveyard without like the people from the town coming to like kill you and stuff. The description is from the creators of Punch Club comes Graveyard Keeper, the most inaccurate medieval cemetery management sim of 2017. I just thought it looked really interesting. Apparently it's coming out summer 2017, so maybe soon.
You're following it and it's on your wish list.
Yeah, it looks really good to me.
I chose it because it should be on my wish list, but I have not added it yet. I forgot.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I was actually going to check that out.
Pick a final game to talk about then, because we've already talked about
That's
two.
maybe what I want to look at. What the?
Super Time Force Ultra. You want to
Yeah, let's go for that one.
Super Time Force Ultra is an insane platformer filled with robots and dinosaurs and fun and time travel, sometimes all at the same time.
Wow.
Indie pixel graphics action platformer 2D. I don't know, it just looked really good.
Does it?
It looks fun.
I like the art style, but I have to seem How this trick? What the fuck was that from llamas?
It's basically what did that say? It's basically the modernization of Contra.
Okay.
So you kind of run around and
I like the effects and like the animations have like a punch behind them. That looks a bit. That looks really good.
It's like this crazy platform with a bunch of shit going on, and you just run around shooting everything.
Yeah, the screenshots haven't sold me, but the trailer itself has definitely sold me. Actually, that actually looks really good. So that's for you. It's always a platformer.
Yeah, I do put a lot of platforms on my wish list.
It's always a platformer. Is there only one game? Like, why is it called Ultra? Is it just like for?
Yeah, it's just one game.
Okay.
Is that 3 games on my wish list? Is that what we want to talk about?
Because
that's the end of the podcast now.
Yeah, we are getting close to 2 hour mark, so...
Yeah, I need to wrap this up. So end of the show plugs, vid.me/inbetween podcast, YouTube, it's probably where you're watching, unless you're watching on VidMe. Sorry for that. YouTube...
Apologies there
to VidMe users.
Yeah, I think VidMe's pretty good these days.
Yeah, I like VidMe.
It's getting better and better, slowly, but
YouTube,
really well.
Inbetween podcast. You can check out Spotlight as well on any of those platforms. I post on Twitter at Scorn2000 about the podcast, and if you want to follow me on Facebook, Facebook Scorn. It's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's not on rails. 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 It's not on rails.